eyes wide shut, but they know, buried alive by the lies in they soul. They stride of a blind man's stroll. Well, for whom does the next bell toll? This a long time coming like a comet pass. Got them all fired up from the rocket blast. And if I fall on my sword, turn my bone to ash. Let it clog up the sand in that hourglass. We in the title fight, blow for a blow. And you can reap the benefit of what I have to sow. Cause I'm about that worth of which you don't appear to know. So you can take the scene while I take over the show.
It's a long way down when your head is in the clouds. All around the sounds play. Don't get in my way. Don't tell me I should bow, cause I'm no clown. This is not a game. Don't get in my way.
You don't wanna say no more than a man you can't afford. And you don't wanna let this turn in the line of mine and yours. And you don't wanna press your luck, but back up and withdraw. Cause trust me when I tell you, you don't want that you can crawl. And you don't wanna see inside the mind of a savage kind. And you don't want that recognition of, oh, there goes that guy. But if you do decide that you were gonna play that hand and try, just think before you act, because your actions don't around.
Welcome all to the SimRacing.Club Porsche Super Cup, the 10-round calendar starting today, the 11th of April, and taking us all the way through to the 17th of October. It's Lewis McGlade alongside Thomas Hinds with Jimmy Allison on cameras, and we start the season at a very wet Silverstone and tricky conditions for these drivers to kick off this championship. So Hinds, someone who's experienced in a flat six, how tricky would it be in these kind of conditions where these cars are pretty slippery anyway, especially on the rear end? How tricky is it going to be for these guys around a circuit such as Silverstone, especially with corners like Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, and you know the tricky rear end and nature of these cars? I don't think we have a Thomas Hinds. Either way, though, it is going to be very tricky for these boys out there. Do we have a Hinds now? Yes, we do. Hello.
We do. Okay, right, that was weird. Apologies, everyone. My settings of my mic just has a spaz every so often, so apologies for that. Yes, no, as I was saying to myself without anyone hearing it in a monologue time, it's going to be very tricky to drive these cars in these conditions. I mean, they're tricky enough in dry conditions, let alone in wet conditions, so it's going to be very challenging for these guys to really get the hang of these cars, but yeah, I think it'll really test out the men from the boys to use that age-old saying that gets used way too much, but we'll visit here anyway. And yes, no, they are, yeah, very challenging cars to drive, as I know from experience driving in a different league in these, but very good fun too. When you get the hang of them, they just are very rewarding, I find.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got quite a few memorable names for a few of you that follow the Virtual Endurance Championship, and of course the Virtual GT Championship that was on last night. I think the highest person from the Virtual GT Championship last night was Adam Taylor. I think Adam Taylor's here, or is he not? Oh yes, yeah, he's in seventh. But yeah, there's quite a few memorable names as the track's getting pretty busy as they approach Club Corner and head through that on the way to start their first lap. The format for this evening's action will be a 15-minute qualifying session, which we're presently in, met with a 30-minute race, and then there'll be a quick break, and then another 15-minute qualifying session, and another 30-minute race. These tricky conditions are going to be very, very difficult. You've got to make these laps count, and most importantly, I feel, especially with the conditions where they are and how R Factor 2 is, you've got to be on track at the end of the session, because obviously in VEC we'll have it where, or in a dry session rather, where we see a lot in VEC that the rubber builds up towards the end of the session, but here it's even more important, because as long as it doesn't rain, or rain too much anymore, the track is going to be at its absolute peak at the end of the session, so you need to be the last person on track.
Appearing.
Oh.
At the very.
Oh, you're back again. Hello.
Oh, am I? Very strange. I think I've figured out what's going on here. It's a bit annoying, but anyway, I'll make do as best I can. Yes, no, as I was just saying there, the line is. I already see a bit of a dry line appearing already. We've only just done our first laps now, so already that dry line is beginning to sort of appear as the rain, I think, has already started to subside for the moment anyway. So already the time's going to be a bit scrambled, I think. We'll get people getting better as the track conditions evolve, obviously being a unique kind of thing with R-Factor 2, the track conditions evolving with the weather and with the grip levels. So going to be very interesting to see how this all develops as the session goes on. So we do think it could be a bit of an erratic session, possibly for the weather, especially, it's very changeable as it goes on.
Absolutely, and I don't think we'll be in slick territory towards the end of the session, but we shall see how it goes through the final chicane, and up towards the final quarter comes the number one car, although not defending champion, because obviously the first one of the series. I do have to just point that out, sorry Oscar. Oscar Hardwick, though, is going to come towards the line for Magenta Warriors, and he's going to cross it and do a 2:10.407. Not a clue if that's going to be any good or not, as the next person behind would be Niki Jakovic, who goes up into P1 only a little bit quicker, so that's quite a surprise. That must mean it's pretty good time for Oscar Hardwick there, because we know how quick Jakovic is, especially in in a Porsche. As you may have noticed over in the Virtual Endurance Championship, got loads of times coming in though at this moment, and obviously the order going to be chopping and changing about, and people wanting to get back to the garage pretty quickly, I'd assume, for some fresh tyres. I'm not sure how many laps these wet tyres will last. Obviously a bit of a learning process for everyone as Alessandro Puotti goes on to P1. That's a pretty decent lap time so far, 1.5 tenths clear of the field.
We're there in the lead. Hopefully the mic is being picked up at the moment.
Yeah.
Apologies if it isn't. Oh, good. I think I've finally made it work as I wanted it to work. Yeah, my mic has a bit of a spaz every so often for no good reason. Anyway, back to the race. I'm glad it's fixed. That has made me very happy. Yeah, no, he's on the top, as you say, a good 10.5 clear of Nicky, and we've seen Nicky in the GT Porsches, the Virtual Endurance Championship, obviously the main league here at SimRacing.Club. And yeah, he's been very quick at those. So look at that pace, and the ET, or the endurance version of the Porsche 911 is carrying over to the Carrera Cup version. So he's there in second spot. Oscar Hardwick, of course, they're only a couple of tenths down. It's a big gap, second down from Oscar is the next guy in fourth spot. So a bit interesting to see. Again, we've got this kind of mix of field. Like you've got these little sort of small battles throughout the field. As the gaps sort of are a bit large from some of the guys throughout the field. So very interesting to see. But yeah, very good stuff from Alexandra there, and they're looking very, very nice in these wet conditions, which I'm sure will be helpful, because as we know, Silverstone, the conditions are always all over the place. So that'll be good for him throughout the races if the conditions do change around.
Yeah, I pointed this out that we managed to get through an entire race, an 8-hour race in October with no rain. a few months ago at the 8 Hours of Silverstone. However, here we've got some lovely rain. Niki Djakovic to the line, though. This should be a big improvement for Djakovic. Yes, it is a 209.2. The conditions of the track getting better and better. We've also got Christian Michel to the line. A bit of freezes people joy, but he does go to P1 208.560. That's an amazing lap time for Christian Michel. As the lap times of Carsten Wilhelm now, the 3 wide, the number 42 car, which Oscar will be well proud to see that in P1. The number 42 car, though, on to provisional pole position here at Silverstone, which means the gaps are getting bigger and bigger down the order, but this track is getting faster and faster. Sido Vija goes to third. That is a terrible pronunciation, I'm sorry. Goes to P3 in the 117 car. So a great lap time from him, but this order is going to get messy as the session goes on. And yeah, who knows what order we're going to get for this first race of the season, and anyone can be on pole position as long as they time their lap right.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's going to be a real mix around now. I think Marius Burt is going across. He doesn't improve, so a few people jumping around everywhere. I think Alexandro went across before he improved, didn't go up position, so he stays down in 5th spot. So a few of the guys now coming through, it looks like, as these conditions do evolve. So this is really going to test who is good, is able to really get the most out of these cars in these conditions. And these are really tricky conditions, trying to master the dry line while still having the wet line off it. So if you go off, then you're going to lose so much time, especially if you judge the switch to dries or intermediates wrong. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can really excel here. It's going to really prove, I think, who the men to watch here for the races, especially if it starts wet and kind of dries out over the race distance. But it is Carsten leading at the moment, 2 tenths clear of Michel, sorry, and then Cito there in third, and Nico in fourth, or Nicky, sorry, in fourth, and Alexandro in fifth. I think he's just exiting the lane, so it looks like he's going out to do another run now at the back end of the 5. Last place man who's done a lap, that's 20th, is 11 seconds off the lead at the moment. There's still about 5 or 6 guys yet to do a lap, so expect to see them popping the door somewhere when they do their laps.
Watch out for Daniele Canestracci, who's coming around the final corner, and not just that, but behind him we've got Christian Michel. But Daniele Canestracci to the line, he goes and improves to 4th position, but Michel goes to pole, 207.601, thought he would. Setting those decent sector times. We've got lots of people that are setting fastest sectors. Peter Grau down in 13th position, fastest through the first sector and up towards the line. Up towards the second sector split. He drops quite a lot in the second sector.
There you go, yeah. So losing time there in the second sector. I think someone just moved over and see who that was. Oh, it was Vladen there in 8th, just moving up a spot into 8th spot, improving his time. I think he was the only one I've just seen there who did improve. And yeah, Christian, who was that? That was Oscar Hardwick.
Oscar Hardwick, 4th.
Yeah. 1.3 off the lead, so that puts him in the top 5 again. Nicky down in 6th now, 1.6 off. He's improved for a few minutes, so I think he was in the lane, so he's come out again on a new set of tyres, and should expect to see him, I would think. It was pretty Grau, does go up into 8th spot, so he does improve on that lap.
Yeah, keep an eye though. 18th position at the moment. Teammate of Niki Djakovic, Adam Taylor, for Team Vires coming through the final corner. He's been setting a pretty decent sector time himself as he comes up towards the line. Bit of a mistake through the final corner, but does he go to pole? No, he doesn't. 207.748 to 2nd position for the Englishman. Of course, a well-versed GT driver. Took part in the Virtual GT Championship yesterday. Finished 4th in a Viper, and also I think he's the championship leader in VEC in GTE Am in that Ferrari for Dark Racing, so pretty good lap time there for him. Let's have a look, who else is on a lap time? Not really sure. This is at the point where people will be getting ready for their final stints, because of course it's over a 2-minute lap, which is a long lap time. You'll be wanting, if you're not in the pit lane now, if you're not on a good lap, you'll be wanting to escape and be leaving the pit lane right now. Or, well, actually, I would have said quite a few seconds ago, about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, you would have been wanting to leave the pit lane, because that leaves you to do an out lap, a time lap, and then another timed lap. Get those tyres up to temperature. Canestracci improves his time. Well, who's that who's just jumped up? Eric Strana to 3rd position. Strana. Now he will be able to get out and do another time lap, but we'll only have one more. But that is a good lap time for Eric Strana, and obviously me and you, Hins, know how good he is in a flat 6. Of course, multiple race winner elsewhere in these cars in R Factor 1, and runs a fairly successful outfit in various of the leagues in these cars.
Yeah, he, of course, he obviously runs the Ice Cold Racing outfit. It's his team that he runs, and they're quite having quite successful results over in other leagues. So, he runs a successful team. He's a really quite a impressive driver himself. I always sing the praises of Eric personally because I do find he's one of those guys. This is always there or thereabouts. You know?
Jimmy Nisula. I'll try again. Up to pole position though. Sorry. By 6,000 a second as well. 207.594. Fantastic lap time there. Sorry to cut across you.
No, it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, no, great spot there on that lap time. Really good stuff. But yeah, always quarters in there goes. Second clear. Wow, big time. Yeah, it just shows how quick he is at the moment in these conditions. Just seems really be able to grab this thing by the scruff of the neck and really get the maximum pace out of things, trying to escape back in the lane there. So he's now just exiting the lane. So he's just going to get one lap in.
But that's fine, because what that means is that as long as he times his lap right, he's going to be one of the last people to start a lap. And in these conditions, with the track the way it is, that is so important. He possibly tried slicks or something and decided that is a bad call, which it really is in these conditions. Yes, but as I say, this is the most important part of the session where anyone leaving the pit lane now is leaving it too late for starters. But the people that will be starting the laps a few seconds ago will be very important to keep an eye on. The likes of Christian Michel, who's actually started a lap fairly recently. He's going to be able to get all the way around and start another lap. And I think looking at my track map, he is going to be the last person to start a flying lap. So as long as he nails it, Christian could be looking at pole position here today. I don't want to jinx it, but it's very, very possible with just with the way that the track conditions are constantly getting better.
Yeah, very, very true. I'm just looking through. There's a whole bunch. The last sector is just an absolute train of cars. That final sector, they'll try and get through, to get on that last lap on the right time. So Christian Michel is not one of them, as it turns out. Jimmy Nisulu is one. Nisula, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna have great fun trying to get the name pronunciation right. But anyway,
should make a little note. Just say we do apologise for the pronunciation, and we will make a note of it for the next round as long as you message us.
Exactly.
That's like a really, really obnoxious "you do the work" thing. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, Jimmy, I think just started a lap now. Marius Burt, I believe, is on now. He's just going through the final sector now, going down the hangar straight. So he will probably cross the line with about, I'd say 10 seconds to go. So he'll be one of the last to be on a lap. Carsten just crossing the line. I don't think he improves. So stays the same as he starts his final lap now. And I think Michel's just coming down to the end of the hangar straight now. So he'll just cross the line. I think you're right. I think he will indeed be the last one on a lap.
Oh, yeah, if it was, that would be my call of the year. Thank you very much. I'll take my paycheck now. But yes, there's plenty of people that will be starting their lap times around now that will be very, very important. Of course, not far up the road from Christian is Marius Burt, who's just coming out of the final corner. He's not on a lap at this present moment in time, but Marius Burt in a very good position. Currently the second of a front row 3-wide lockout. I find it unlikely that will stay. Not impossible that it will happen, but unlikely that it will stay, as we actually have Jimmy Nisula, who's been off the road at Cops and has ended his final lap. That could be very costly for him if people behind do improve, although noting that a few people behind are off of laps. In fact, we've only got a few people within the top 10 who are currently on laps.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people just scrapping their last laps, maybe pushing too hard and making a mistake.
Very easy to do.
Yeah, especially, as I said, in the dry, these things are quite challenging to drive. So in these conditions, I'm sure they'd be really hard indeed. Well, they're very fun. I must say, watching these guys go around is making me want to drive them again. So that's interesting.
Absolutely. Oscar Hardwick will be one of the last people, or will be one of the more recent people to come down towards the line. We've had Tom Schenkels, who's entered the pit lane in front of him. So Oscar Hardwick will be the next person to come down towards the line as he comes down towards Club Corner and gets the breaking point right. He wasn't so good through Beckett's, but this still could be an improvement based on the conditions. He's currently down 11th spot, which Oscar, that won't be too much to his liking. But here he comes through the final corner. It's all right. I think we're going to be a bit lenient on track conditions today. He does not improve position though. So he is bad. Wolfgang Hand now through the final corner and across the line. He's going to improve his time, goes to 16th position. Who is next? Matalana. That goes up to 12th position, gets into the back of Oscar Hardwick, which I think if Oscar didn't improve, that would have been in front of him. So very important there. Eric Strana doesn't improve his lap time.
I think
Oh,
Burt's
Nicky
just coming
Jakovic
across
to
it.
5th. That's an
Ooh.
important change towards the end of the session.
Burt does not improve. There you go.
No. So there we go. That does sort it out, and I was wrong. It didn't change. We do have a 3-wide front row lockout. The 42 heads the 43, and Carsten Wilhelm will take the first of 10 pole positions this actually 20 pole positions this season. I forget there's 2 qualifying sessions an evening. Oh dear, we will have to do this all over again in about 40 minutes time, so expect some more interesting qualifying action a bit later on this evening. But not gonna lie, for the first qualifying session of the season, that was not bad. Important notice from Jimmy Allison is white lines not being reviewed. Just don't misuse it. It's basically just don't take the mick and it'll be all right. It's understandable in conditions such as these. It's quite tricky, especially with cars that are as slippery as these. Jeez. So I think that was something that kind of had to be lifted a little bit. Or maybe I'm saying that just to suck up to him whilst he's on TeamSpeak with us. Oh dear. Obviously, we'll go through the order once we are ready and racing. But from that session, let's just go with the assumption that we would start in the same conditions, right? So we're starting on a drying track. From that, does anyone kind of stand out to you as being someone pacey towards the front of the field? Maybe someone that maybe didn't qualify quite as well as they should have? Who would you expect to be moving up towards the front throughout the race?
Well, I mean, as you mentioned, I think Oscar Hardwick's always one to look out for him. He's always pacey in pretty much anything I see him drive. He seems to have pace in it. So I think he'll be one to look out for. I do suspect that 11th spot's not a true showing of his pace. So I think he'll be one that will be coming through the field as the session goes on. Eric Strams, we've mentioned already how quick he can be. I think he'll be one to watch out for, especially if people are making mistakes in front of him. And he's generally the guy who just keeps plugging along, just keeps popping in those laps, and just, consistency is one of his main strengths as well, just being generally fast. So I think he'll be one to watch as well to possibly come through the field. Nicky, as I said, just seeing how quick he is in the endurance series with the Porsche, obviously the GT endurance spec Porsche. I mean, this is obviously not as quick as that, but it's still Porsche, the same sort of basic as principles apply. So very quick in that thing. So I'd expect him to be pretty fast in this. So again, one to watch out for to maybe disrupt that 3-wide party at the front of the field. But yeah, I mean, they're the main sort of 3 I think I'll be watching out for. I mean, are we expecting Christian Michel to be fighting for the lead throughout the race? But yeah, they're probably the main guys for me anyway that I would look out for. But I could be completely wrong, and there might be like 3 or 4 other guys I've not even thought about that are probably going to come charging through the field. So that could be something that happens too.
Yeah, I've got a good feeling myself about a Mr. Nicky Jakovic. Of course, we know how fast he is. And racing here for Team Vires, I would expect him to be definitely in the fight for the lead. Not saying the 3-wide guys can't do it, but I think this is going to be a really good race for that top spot. Problem is, on a drying track such as this, which that's going to be another difficult call, which I'll get to in a minute. The overtaking is going to be pretty difficult because whether you do it offline, well, you've got to do it offline really to do an overtake, unless you spook them into some weird move. You're generally going to have to do it offline, and offline, obviously in these conditions, there's very, very little grip. So it's more a case of sit on the racing line, don't make a mistake, and hope for the best, really. But yes, this other call I was going to say about the conditions as they are. Now, I know what I would go for, tyre-wise. But, of course, we have 2 compounds of tyres here. I'm pretty sure it's only 2, being the wets and the slicks. What would you go for in a condition like this, knowing that the track is going to be drying out, but maybe that there's a bit too much risk in taking slicks? What would you go for? What would be your expert decision, Mr. Hins?
Yeah, my very expert decision.
Hey, you may have to make this decision later on in the season. You don't know. Not this season, but in a racing series, this is something that every sim racer has come across at least once, or at least will come across.
My
Yeah.
broadcasting.
No,
Yep,
you're still
okay,
here.
cool. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I thought I dropped out again. Yeah, I think it's such a tough call. I think I'd probably just go the wets. I reckon
Yep.
in these conditions, especially being Silverstone. You know how
Yeah.
changeable it can be in Silverstone. It can just suddenly be dry 1 minute, and then the next minute it's absolutely pouring down, as we've seen, as I've seen anyway, in multiple series that have raced around here. So I'd probably go the wets just to be safe, but I'm sure I'll be proven wrong. It'll be bone dry, and it'll just be no rain at all throughout the race. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky decisions which you go one way and it could bite you, you go the other way and it could also bite you. Also, you have to remember, right, you are starting on one side of the grid or the other. This isn't a rolling start here, at least it isn't as far as I'm aware. No, this is not. So it's a standing start from the grid. Now, the reason why that is important is because it's all dependent on what side of the grid you start on. If you start on the left, you're aces. You're on the racing line. You're on the drier part of the circuit. You start on the right-hand side, though, you're on the wet stuff. You are going to have a tricky start from the line. I believe it's going to be even positions on the left, odd positions on the right, at least that's every time I've been to Silverstone. So, all your odd-numbered people are going to be, or should have an advantage down towards turn one, if I remember it correctly. So it's going to be, I don't know. If you're starting on the left, it's almost as if you could potentially take a risk. Let's say you're starting second, or say you're starting on the left-hand side, rather on the front row, or second row, or whatever. You might want to start on the slick tyres and run the risk. I mean, who knows? It's the first round of the season. The next round of the season. I'll back to Mango. The next round of the season will be at a British circuit as well. So, who really knows what's going to happen? Of course, we'll go through the calendar between race sessions as we're getting ready to get going here. And it was correct, yeah. Pole position will be on your left-hand side, and your odd numbers will be on the right, although opposite way around as you look at it, I would guess. Oh, we are getting ready to go racing. There is no formation. That was a shock to me, but oh well. Still, Wilhelm will lead you away from pole position. And it is a good start from him, a better start than the entire field behind it. Actually, a pretty good start from Marius Burt as they come down towards turn one. And they all shuffle their way through. I think that's a pretty good start as with a couple of people dropping down the order pretty quick. Oscar Harbick down 2 places, Eric Strana down a place. As we've got some moves going on, and it is still your 3 wide 1-2. Nisula in second position. Niki Jakovic in 4th position. That's good for him. Christian Michel was, Eric Strana and Sido Visha go side by side through turn 4. And that is Sido taking that 6th position, or rather holding that 6th position. Adam Taylor, the next car behind him. We've got Peter Grau and that is Canastracci side by side coming down towards Brooklands. And Canastracci's taking the advantage, but he nearly clips Adam Taylor through Brooklands. A big mistake. That's going to cost him big time. Yeah, he's going to be right down towards the back of the field. I just think I hear a little bit of a crash elsewhere, but as it stands at the moment, it is still a 3 wide 1-2, and Marius Burt is looking pretty racy here at Silverstone.
I think I'm back again.
Hi.
This mic's being awful. Yeah. We've got a very interesting fight at the front of the field, as you said. It's very close indeed. The 3 wide, holding, but Jimmy's right behind, and Nicky. Look at Nicky.
Oh yeah,
right
look at this
behind
run
Jimmy
from
as they
Jimmy.
go down,
Look at
hanging
this run from
straight.
Jimmy.
Watching him to possibly do it now, and even the guys behind. Michel's not far behind. Sido's not far behind. Stran's not far behind. Oops, someone's off in the background. I'm not sure who that is, but look at these guys go as they go down the straight. Jimmy will ever look. No, he won't. He'll stick in for the moment. There's only the first lap, of course, and as we said, it's 30-minute race, so plenty of time to do manoeuvres. And as we said, with the track as it is, I'm sure people will be extra cautious to make any moves on the guys ahead. Yeah,
it's Matalana that was off in the background, dropping down the order. But towards the end of your first lap of the season, it will be Karsten Wilhelm who comes around the final corner to lead the first lap here at Silverstone. 30 minutes to go, or 28 minutes to go at this present moment in time, and Marius Burt looking like he's trying to defend that top position for Karsten. Jimmy Nisula right behind and looking very, very racy. Definitely looking like he's got the pace to trouble these top 2. As who's that dropping down there? down the order. Nope, it's just timing's going through. Fine, I'll do. Still though, it's looking like we've got a bit of a train here, which is kind of expected. In conditions such as these, it's very tricky to make a pass. You're going to require to carry quite a bit of momentum. And I'm pretty sure every one of these boys, based on the fact that no one specifically is dropping down the order super fast, as Djakovic was almost looking for a move there on Missoula. But I'm pretty sure all these boys will actually be on wet tyres in these conditions. I don't think anyone will be on the slicks, which could mean that halfway through the race maybe someone feels a bit brave. Not sure if anyone's practiced a pit stop. I find it very unlikely that anyone will practice a pit stop or knows how long it's going to be. But it is potential that someone might try a quick switch onto the slicks, dependent on the conditions and their tyre wear percentage. Nisula right in the back of Bert. Here comes Djakovic though, going to take that third position away. Said watch out for Djakovic in the warm-up, and here he goes up into third position there for Team Vires.
And a good move there through the back half of the circuit. At least he's already on the back of 3 wide too, so it looks like Carsten's got the pace. Bert struggling to keep up with his teammate. Wilhelm's already a good second down the road. Look at this train now. Christian Michel's there. Cito's the headlights on, so he's meaning business in the 6th spot. There's Strone in 7th. Taylor himself, Alexandro and Hardwick down there. It's for 9th spot. And actually with this ego, Alexandro is having a look on Peter and Elliot. Oscar's looking. I don't think he'll do it. Obviously not 3 wide, not in these conditions.
No,
it's
Oscar's going to try and take... there's contact there between Oscar and Quoty.
Alexander's round.
Yeah, that was troublesome. Oscar tries to get back straight onto the racing line, but that was a shame for Alessandro Quoty, who's going to rejoin down in 14th position, which is still all right. It could have been much worse than that. It was just an overcooked move from him. Not really sure too much what Oscar did, or I'm not going to judge. Not my job. I think Oscar was following the racing line, which is it's very tricky to not do in these conditions. But either way, Oscar Hardwick does keep that 10th position, just kind of slid out a bit wide there through Stowe. I'll get this calling names right one day. By the way, also, whilst we'll be talking, Nicky Djakovic just gets his way around Marius Burt up into 2nd position. Marius Burt down to 3rd. And that is going to be very important for this lead. 2 seconds separates Carsten Wilhelm and Nicky Djakovic at the line as we come down towards the first sector split. It's now 1.6 seconds. Keep your eye on Nicky Djakovic as Carsten Wilhelm spun slightly wide at Brooklands. He knows that Djakovic means business and he wants this win. Oh, as Adam Taylor's moving his way past Eric Strana in 7th position. They're swapping positions as they go through Luffield and down to Woodcut. That will be Adam Taylor up to P7, Eric Strana down to P8. Eric Strana's going to be looking down the inside. He's going to bail out of that one before Copse. Yeah, he doesn't want to try that. That would be a risky move indeed. As Eric Strana down to 8th position. He's got quite a way back to Peter Grau in 9th, who's actually just going to be taken by his teammate Oscar Hardwick up into 9th position as they come down towards Maggots, Beckers and Chapel. Pretty opportunistic move there as people are just struggling with these conditions and coming under fire. It's very hard to build up a momentum, but look at this battle for the lead. Nicky Djakovic right on the back of Carsten Wilhelm. Half a second between the two of them now.
Yeah, am I back again?
Yeah.
I know what the problem is, but it's really frustrating. Anyway, I will do my best. Apologies again in advance. Mike is being temperamental, but yeah, Nicky, half a second. Wow, even less now. Look at that, it's like 2/10 between the two of them now. So Nicky right behind Carsten for the lead.
Oh, Eric Strana to the pit lane.
Oh. Ooh.
Now, this could be one of 2 things. This could be a stop-and-go / drive-through for jumping a start, which is very possible. Although Eric Strana is very experienced in racing, I don't know if that will be the case. Maybe he is just coming in to try some slicks. He's pulling into a box, so I would assume this could be slick territory here for Eric Strana and could work out. Pedro Delgado is in the pit lane behind him as well. So this could be slick territory for these guys. But at the lead, though, Nicky Djakovic looking down the inside. Oh, nearly clips the back of Wilhelm. But Nicky Djakovic, looking at this, is right and ready to go racing here as he's going to be looking down the inside coming into Brooklands. Is Carsten going to cover? No, he is not. That means Djakovic was going to go onto the wet stuff. He knows better than that. I think he's just trying to move Carsten onto the wet stuff and isn't quite working yet. At the moment, Carsten still leads from Marius Burt as Eric Strana is still in the pit lane, still having a pit stop. This is a long stop for these guys. He's just got moving now as your leaders are coming down towards Copse Corner, so it's a long stop. And
Ooh. Meanwhile, Adam Taylor on Marius Burt behind. They're very, very close in that little battle. Ooh, contact, yeah. Through Stowe. They're very, very, oh boy, very, very touch and go. But I think they've gotten through. And actually, there's Nicky around the outside.
Oh, good move there. He's going to be breaking all the wet stuff, getting it sorted. Oh,
it's got
that
it.
is a top move there for Nicky Jakovic. Yeah. Moves up into P1, going to try and move away from Karsten Wilhelm. We are looking actually at a fight here between Team Vires and 3 Wide here for the first race win of the season. And currently Adam Taylor's looking like he's going to be able to get himself onto the podium here for Team Vires. Always cutting in very, very close. Wow, he really knows where the front end of that car is. Trying to get past Marius Burt, the 896 car. Looking for any opportunity he can to get past the 43. Is he going to be able to do it down at the club? There he is. He's going to slide. He's going to catch it. Good catch. Ooh. But look who's in the background. LMP1 driver for Revolution Racing, Christian Michel. And we all know how fast he was based on the qualifying session, and of course the fact that he is in LMP1. He knows how quick he is. And race winner back in Istanbul Park in VEC. This guy is looking to fight the top honours here as well, as Nicky Jakovic is absolutely checking out at the front of the field.
I also noticed Oscar Harbeck as well. He's caught up to 6 now. He's actually passing Michelle on the outside. Ooh, contact between the two. He'll try and go under. No, he won't. Okay, so he holds on, but he is that way up into 6th. And remember, of course, he started 11th, 13th on the first lap, and now he's up to 6th.
We've just said that Daniele Calistracci is just... is that the overall fastest lap? Okay, Daniele Calistracci does set the fastest lap of the race overall. And that is going to be very important. He's down in currently in 13th place.
Yeah, so he's down the field, but as you say, he's set the fast lap, so he's
flying.
Adam
Taylor! Oh, he's in! Is it Burt? Good catch from Burt. Touche. Adam Taylor, though, just clips the back of Burt there. I think Adam Taylor's being held up quite a bit here from the 3 wide driver. He's looking for every move to get past. He needs to be a bit calmer here, though. I will go back. Oh, here we go. Adam Taylor is going to get past Marius Burt right now out of Copse. Good run, good momentum. As Marius Burt ran slightly wide. He's just clear now. Burt backs out.
Yeah, indeed. He gets it done. So, and Adam Taylor now through. And next up on this is Karsten, next 3 wide car. And then it would be a 1-2.
Watch out for Hardwick.
Oh, yep, Hardwick there as well. Nicky is just flying, by the way. 3.3 seconds in the lead. 5 seconds in the lead now. Just absolutely flying up front. So he's gone to the rest of the guys. Look at this. Adam Taylor having a look at
Oscar Hardwick, though. Oscar's going to be on the outside. It's going to push him onto the wet stuff. He's going to have to drop back in line.
Oh, but he'll try up and under.
He is.
Ooh,
he is.
Close, but I think... brave stuff from Oscar.
He's turning a bit too early. He's turning a bit too early with the car still there. But Adam Taylor, whoa. Final corner. Adam Taylor keeps it in third position. Nicky Jakovic sets the fastest lap of the race that time by. But yeah, Karsten Wilhelm under heavy fire here, as is Marius. But contact between the two. Wilhelm slows down through turn 2 a little bit, and I don't think Adam Taylor was quite expecting that. And he is through now, though. He is through now. Is he going to keep it? He runs onto the wet stuff. No, he isn't. Karsten Wilhelm gets back past and reasserts himself into second position. Oscar Hardwick, though, right on the back of Marius Burt, coming down towards Brooklyn. Is he going to do it? He's going to be on the wet stuff. This is going to be a ballsy move if he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off, but Oscar is going to try. Oh, he's there. Oh, Adam Taylor's trying the same thing. Oscar Hardwick gets past. Adam Taylor's making contact with Karsten Wilhelm up ahead. Coming down towards Luffield corner. There's bumping and bashing between the two. And Oscar Hardwick's going to get onto the podium. Fantastic move there for Oscar Hardwick up into P3.
Unbelievable stuff. And get past Adam Taylor as well. So Taylor's now going to do all over again. Get past Oscar and Karsten. Look at this battle. It's an immense battle. Michelle's there. Cito's there as well. So we've got about a 6-lap battle over second spot.
Oh, here comes Oscar Hardwick into second place. He's going to do it. Adam Taylor's also going to be looking to get past into third. Oh, this is a terrifying moment. Back out of it, Adam. Oh, he's not going to. Oh, he
Oh.
is. Cuts a little bit across the grass there. But look at how
Wow.
much already Oscar Hardwick's pulled out on Carsten Wilhelm. These three wide boys, despite having the pace in qualifying, are really, really struggling here in the race.
Looks like just that race pace isn't there. They're just really holding up these guys. Look at Sam Taylor's surely going to have a look down into Stowe here as they go along
He
down the
bumped
hanger
him a
straight.
bit too much.
Having a look. Sorry, I think I got the wrong one, yeah. But Taylor on the inside.
Ooh.
Oh, bit of contact, but I think he's done it. He's got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Move in the end, actually.
Yeah, but either way, Carsten Wilhelm now 3 wide from a front row lockout. Now neither car on the podium, but currently it is a 10.6 second lead for Nicky Jakovic, who sets the fastest lap again, a 2:05.9. That is an immense lap time. 11.1 seconds now separates P1 and P2. I don't think Oscar could do anything about that gap. Also, we've had another Bram Bielen. Oh, Bram Bielen's off. I don't know where that is. It was from 30. Oh, he was coming. No, he was coming down. I think he was coming down to pit lane. I don't know. Maybe he tried slowing down.
Yeah, he's come down to pit lane and knocked the wall and put the entry. So just a bit of miscalculation from him, which is a big shame. So it's going to lose him a lot of time. Yeah,
as a note though, for the people that went onto or assumed onto the slick tyres, which would be stuff like Eric Strana, who I think is the highest place of those lot, is boxing, and I think coming back onto the wet tyres, which now I feel is like the wrong call. If you're going to go onto one, just stay on it. I'd also be concerned if Bram Bielen, I'm pretty sure he would have sped in pit lane. I don't think he'll get away with that.
No.
Eric Strana, though, back into pit lane. Not a good race here for Eric, but of course we do have a second qualifying and a second race coming up a bit later on this evening, so all is not lost for some of these boys. I've also noticed, Vladen Sofianek coming up now and fighting for the top 5. Where did he come from? He's trying to get past Marius Burt, who's just run slightly wide on the entrance to the Magnus Beckett's Chapel complex. But Wilhelm's really struggling for pace, and Burt's struggling for pace just as much. But look at this. Vladen Sofianek is going to try and get past now, coming down into Stowe, as Burt is trying to hold him onto the wet stuff as much as he possibly can. And it is going to work for now, but you do have to wonder for how long will it until Vladen gets past. He's currently driving for Snow Shatton Racing, which is not a livery I would have thought Snow Shatton would have come up with. I'm more used to seeing Snow Shatton in like a white, black and blue car, if I'm perfectly honest. But this line, though, if you look from Marius Burt or Christian Wilhelm backwards, really, there is a long line forming behind the 2-3 wide drivers, and I'm sure they would have been hoping it would have been for P1 and P2, but that is not going to be the case. Oh, Vladen's going to be running very, very wide. It's a big mistake, and he's going to spin on Christian Michel. Is he going to catch it? Oh, hero driving. Oh, he's only going to drop back to 8th position. That is not bad as Canastracci is looking on the feature, but now he's running off again. It was almost hero driving. Drops back down into 11th position. But
as said.
Oh yeah.
So bloody mic again. I swear I'll fix this one day. But yeah, he's on slicks, I believe, as well. I think Jimmy mentioned before that Canastracci is actually on slicks as well. So he's
really
fast right now. I think Cito possibly could be on wets, just judging from his pace. He seems to be really struggling right now. So he's got these two, Jimmy and Canastracci, right behind him as they go down towards the latter half of the circuit. Sure, he's going to look down and inside. No, he's not. Okay, he's going to be nice and calm. I was going to say there'd be a risky move in these conditions, but look at this. Just look at the difference in speed between the two. This is all having a look on the wet stuff again. Always looking left, he's looking right, he's looking everywhere to make a move, but he just can't do it in these conditions as they go along. It looks like that battle up ahead has kind of subsided a little bit with 3 wides. They seem to be stabilising a bit as the track gets dry.
Yeah, just to point out, just found out on live races, you can actually see if you click on people's names. So if that is correct, that would mean that Jakovic, Hardwick, Taylor, and probably everyone else behind are actually on slicks, at least as far as I can tell. And currently, Oscar is setting some pretty decent lap times, as it is. It is correct. Cool. We know things now. Nicky Jakovic to the line sets his fastest lap of the race, 2:05.1. Oscar Hardwick sets a 2:05.9. So that there shows, or is it 2:05.9? I'm reading it wrong.
No,
lot about
I think
the
you're right.
advantage. That there says
yes,
a
no.
lot about the advantage of Jakovic.
It's working. I'll do that just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yes, it is looking like I think Carsten may get past from Alexandro soon because Alexandro's right behind him. This is the fourth spot as the three wides continue to try to struggle on with this Alexandro on the outside. Wow, just that drive. Such
what
a
a
difference.
move.
The three wides really, really struggling in these conditions. I'm not sure if they're on slicks. I don't have live races up. So I'm not sure,
it does. Yeah.
Oh, that is okay. Yep. So,
I think,
yeah,
I think everyone's in slicks. Actually, let's have a look.
they
What
do
Wilhelm
have
we're on?
ju-
Okay, right.
Ooh.
That would this now. Right. Okay, cool. Now that explains the difference between pace when you look at people like Wilhelm and Bert, because spookily enough, they're on the wet tyres, which would explain why both of them had a great start and have struggled ever since. This is definitely a slick track. I don't honestly for those two, it's almost like if your percentages are all right, take a deep breath and deal with it. Unfortunately, as Bert and Canastracci there switching positions. Not really sure what happened. Oh, here he goes. Canastracci straight back past. Canastracci's going to have a go on with Christian here as well. So 2 cars, 1 corner, and absolutely boom down into 6th position. Although he runs really far over the sausage curb there on Maggots. But still, that means Canastracci now up into 6th position. He's going to be right on the back of Wilhelm anytime soon. The Texas driver's car looking for a top 5 finish here for the first race of the season, and a fantastic result for him. It would be a quick update on Eric Strana and anyone that went onto the slick tyres or wet tyres. Wet tyres. Honestly, no idea what strategy they were pulling. But whatever strategy it was, not worked out. It's almost turned into an extended testing session for those drivers. As Oscar Hardwick just set the fastest lap of the race. Not that it really matters for this race so much. Does bring the gap down to 11.1 seconds. It doesn't matter so much for this race, but it does. It's almost this gap for the lead. This who can kind of match Nicky Jakovic for pace. Of course, I don't know how much Nicky's pushing at this moment, but it's almost like a who can get as close as possible. Who is going to be fighting Nicky Jakovic for the win? If it is going to be Nicky Jakovic who they're fighting for the win. In the second race. To be honest, we still don't really know the pace of the 3-wide drivers, considering them the wets.
Yeah, but Marius is just struggling to keep Vladden behind him now. I think Vladden surely is going to make moves soon. You've got Cito, Jimmy, and Luke Ridgway all closing off the back of this as well. So you've got a whole bunch of guys coming up now, though the gap back to Peter Grove is quite a ways back. That's an interesting battle. Ooh, 2 for 15th, lot of contact.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at as well. It was Rune Janssens and Tom Schenkel's for 14th and 15th position. It was Rune Janssens who was actually completely sideways going into the corner as oh no, that's Nasula off in 12th, or 11th at the time, but completely slid off the track at Brooklands. And he's going to get back onto the track in 12th position, but that actually promotes Luke Ridgway up into the 10th position. Now, it's been ages since I've seen that name, but what a fantastic drive it is for Luke Ridgway. Doing a great job moving up to the 10th position, looking like he might actually move himself further up into this top 10 once he catches up to the back of Marius Burt, if he's going to keep himself clean. Oh, we had a couple of drivers off at Cops. Who is that? It is Wilhelm and Canastracci. Oh, big crash. Big crash. Do not know what's going on there.
Big one, yeah. I'll go back and see if I can figure out.
Yeah. I'm going back to look at that as well. Right, so it was Canastracci who was totally off at Cops and then rejoined, and as Wilhelm was trying to avoid him, Wilhelm kind of tried going to the left. That is going to be one for the DC to decide. I'm not paid enough for that, or something. But either way, Canastracci now down 12th position after he was fighting for a top 5 position. He won't be very happy with that. Carsten Wilhelm from pole position down to 11th, right on the back of Jimmy Nasula, who just dropped down to 12th position, now back up into the top 10. And that means Luke Ridgway's up in 8th position. Going to move himself up to 7th anytime soon, provided he gets this move done on Marius Burt. He's overcooked this corner ever so slightly, but he's going to get this move done. Oh, bit of contact there from Marius Burt on the back of Luke Ridgway, but Ridgway up into 7th position. Good stuff there from him. Wow, I've also just noticed the gap between third and fourth. 20 seconds between Adam Taylor and Alejandro Puotti, third to fourth. And even then, it's a further 16 seconds back to Christian Michel for fifth. But then there's only 1 second that separates Christian and Vladen. Although, here we go, Sofianek looking to move himself up into that top 5. Is he going to be able to do it? Coming down to Brooklyn's corner. Oh, slide there for Christian. But either way, Sofianek not quite getting that move done on Christian Michel right now, but he's looking racy as Christian gets a slide through Luffield, touching one of these icy curves. Now, Mr. Hinsey, I don't know how much you know about touching curbs in R Factor 2, but normally they're a lethal death trap. So, talking about touching curbs in wet conditions in flat 6, how much death can we... Oh, wow, look at that. A slight slide there from Christian Michel when Vladen straight through. But yeah, how much... What can we even expect from touching curbs in these cars in these conditions?
Yeah, I think it's generally not good. I mean, generally, they're... You know, I'm usually one who likes to do a bit of curve hopping. I do find it quite fun, but... I took that inspiration from the Supercars. But yeah, I think they're not terribly good with the curbs, got to be honest. They do get unsettled really easily, because as I've noticed with them, and it's the same with the RF1 cars, they're very, very floaty cars. I think Cedo and kind of Strachey, they're having a nice little battle at the back end of the 10. But yeah, they're very floaty cars generally, as we mentioned, so they're a bit weird to drive, because the sense of feel is a bit odd, because you kind of don't feel too much at times. You kind of sit there going, why am I not feeling anything? That's just kind of the nature of the car, because they're so floaty. So yeah, in these conditions, I think it would be interesting touching the curbs. It's interesting seeing them clobber them so much, because I would have thought it would have been an absolute nightmare trying to keep control of them. But apparently these guys just are too pro for that. So there you go.
Absolutely.
But apparently I'm not pro enough. So
absolutely. No, it's not like, for me, it's not like the curbs, you know, they've got like a load of height to them. Those ones aren't so bad, because those at least do something that you can catch. It's the flat ones that you kind of like, oh, okay, it's fine. But oh, there, I've stood around. I will also give you a quick update. Christian Michel was actually on the wet compound of tyre. And that is kind of why he's dropping back a little bit, as Jimmy Nisula tried a little look on Luke Ridgway. He's trying to go onto the wet stuff a little bit too much, is Jimmy. But it's looking like he's going to be feisty for this 6th place battle that we've got between Christian, Luke and Jimmy. And Luke is... I think Luke Ridgway is on the dry compound of tyre, but not 100% sure. I would assume so, based on the pace differential between Christian and Luke. Although here he goes, going to power out of Luffield through Woodcote and up into 6th position. And who's going to try and take advantage? It is going to be Nisula. Is he going to be able to? No, he's not. He's going to back out of this before Copse. I think actually, if he backs out of it now, Christian's going to be slow through Copse. He's going to get the cutback. See, look, boom, there it is. Oh, this is from a racing driver. Cool. Jimmy Nisula moves up into 7th position. Christian Michel down to 8th. Danny Canistracci is going to be catching this lot anytime soon. And it's a good job we're not racing in the series, because me and you both said you should take the wets at the start, and we would have been wrong.
Oh, yeah. We would have been wrong. So there you go. Shows how much we and Lewis know about actually racing. Apparently not much.
Absolutely nothing. Canistracci is going to be moving past Christian here. Dependent on the braking zone. What's Christian going to do? Oh, good move from Canistracci. But I think there's a bit of respect there from Christian, knowing that his tyres are done and want to go home. So backing out of that one a little bit.
Yeah, it's all kind of developing now, this race, as I try to... Apologies if I'm missing things. I'm trying to make this work with the team speak being annoying.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, no, it's all very interesting at the moment. Nicky's still out in front, leading by...
Oh, he's lost 2 seconds.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. All right, well...
It's simple to make a little mistake here and there, you know. But yeah, he did lose 2 seconds there to Oscar Hardwick. Not that it means anything. I will say the gap between Oscar Hardwick and Adam Taylor coming down and down and down. It's half a second between the pair of Englishmen there. Both GT... No, sorry. Oscar's not a GTM driver anymore. Ex-GTM driver in the case of Oscar Hardwick. Current GTM driver in Adam Taylor in the Virtual Endurance Championship. Oscar Hardwick obviously moving up to LMP2 and actually won back in Turkey. for that outfit, the Magenta Warriors racing team outfit. But Adam Taylor, Team Vires, looking very racy indeed. Got some nice straight line speed down the hangar straight as they actually do continue to catch Niki Jakovic at the moment. Maybe it was just trouble through lap traffic and stuff as Eric Strana has gone a lap down. We've got a few drivers a lap down, 4 in fact. As big moment there for Adam Taylor. Good catch.
A little bit squirmy under the braking zone, but they're easy to do in these cars. They are a bit tricky to drive just really generally, so it can be pretty awkward. Because I was flashing the headlights there, going to get the hell. Oh boy, they're like traffic in a bit of an awkward moment here as he's trying to stay in the dry stuff, not spin while not holding up the traffic. He ends up getting kind of out of the way. It's a little bit awkward, but yeah, managed to get through okay. So Oscar didn't lose too much. So Adam still having to do the work here, and it's very close. This could be a really interesting battle towards the end. In the last only 2 minutes to go now, so right in the last probably lap or two, Adam's looking like he could challenge.
Pretty sure this will be. Actually, will this be the final lap? I think they might get one more. Not sure. Jimmy might have more information. I don't know. Actually, let's have a look on here. No, I think there will be one more lap after this. We'll find out soon. But yes, this battle between Taylor and Harvick. I know Oscar is such a fan of lap traffic. He would have been really chuffed at that moment. But this battle for second place looking like it's the closest battle, or at least one of the best battles we've got at the moment. We do actually have P6, P7, Ridgeway, Nisula pretty close as well, and a couple more throughout the field. Nisula's going to be looking on the outside of Ridgeway, going to go for the cut back through turn 3. Canastracci's right behind him as well, P6, P7, P8. And Ridgeway's looking like he's going to be trying to hold on to P6 right now. You keep an eye on that battle between Oscar Hardwick and Adam Taylor. Tell me if it gets any closer. But Nisula, he's looking like he's got the faster car of the two here. Canastracci is also looking like he's got a faster car than Ridgeway, but Ridgeway's putting his car in all the right places and not getting flustered by the two cars behind, and trying to hold on to that P6 as he comes through Luffield. And I think up towards Copse is going to be Nisula's best chance, as long as he can get a good run off of Luffield, which he hasn't really done. He's got an all right run, but it's kind of Ridgeway's also got a similar run, so not really too sure there.
Yeah, very close. Something like Ridgeway looks pretty solid, man. Just at 6th spot though, so I think he qualified in the 20s from memory. When I remember the qualifying results. So he's come through from the back, near the back of the field to be 6th. Really quite top drive, got to be set from Ridgeway, especially in these conditions. Been very, very tricky conditions. So great stuff from Ridgeway to get into the top 10 and near top 5 even. So great stuff from him. But it looking good. But you know, Nisula's there and he's looking threatening. He's got a very good run. Rhythm section here as they go through towards the line or through the hangar straight, and again Canastracci there as well. Let's have a look. Jimmy's got a really nice run. So go down the hangar straight. I almost said hammer straight. That'd be a bit
hammer straight. Stop. Hammer straight.
But no, Jimmy not quite close enough to do it. So he just sits in line. So looking good at the moment, Ridgeway. But look at just how close these guys. Actually, Canastracci.
No, it's not going to be anything. I don't think it's going to be anything here. I will say checker flag has been out, which means... sorry, checker flag has been out. They are on the final lap of the race, at least Jakovic. All the slot will be starting the final lap of the race, and then the checker flag will be out. That's what I mean. So it is the final lap of the race here. But this battle for 6th, 7th and 8th is absolutely not done. Jimmy Nisula is going to be looking down towards Abbey Corner. It's not going to do anything quite yet, as we've got plenty of people moving around position-wise, but... I really don't want to take my eye off Adam Taylor and Oscar Hardwick, who are very, very close still. Oscar will be chuffed with this result, finishing 2nd here in the number 1 car. Oh, that was a... I would say cut. We're dropping track limits here at the moment. It's a don't take the mick. Is Adam Taylor going to get a good run? That is a pretty good run. But I kind of don't want to take my eye off Niki Jakovic, just come up towards the final complex of corners. Adam Taylor, though, is it going to be anything? Oh, wow, this is going to be really awkward timing, isn't it? Let's have a look, see what they can do towards Stowe Corner. Adam Taylor's going to be on the inside. Bit of contact there. He is going to get past Oscar Hardwick onto the wet stuff, but still, very quickly, out of the final corner comes Niki Jakovic to take the first win of the season. Oscar Hardwick back into 2nd place. Adam Taylor, 3rd place. Through Club Corner they go. Oscar Hardwick is going to confirm this 2nd with a little mistake there from Adam Taylor. Niki Jakovic also sets the fastest lap of the race there on the final lap, into Sebastian Vettel style. Niki Jakovic wins, Oscar Hardwick 2nd, Adam Taylor 3rd, and then a long way back will be Alejandro Puotti in 4th position. He's got absolutely no threat forwards or backwards. In fact, he's got a 45-second bubble at the moment between P3 and P5. So a long way between those two. Alejandro Puoti. But let's very quickly look back at Ridgway, Nasula and Canastracci as they come down towards Stowe Corner for the final time. Final move, final opportunity here really for Nasula. He's going to be lurking, nothing doing yet. Is he going to do anything into club? He's getting a good run. That's pretty good for me. He's going to look to the outside, still nothing doing. That means Luke Ridgway, as long as he doesn't make a mistake here, is going to confirm himself into 6th position. Vladen Sofjanic is going to confirm himself into a top 5 position, which is good for him. Luke Ridgway, almost a bit of contact there, but he is going to sit P6. Jimmy Nasula, P7. Gani Canistracci, P8. Tom Schenkel's P9. Christian Michel on the wet tyres. Going to come through the final corners. God, that looks slow. It looks so painful to drive. Oh, I feel sorry for Christian Burton Wilhelm. Yeah, Christian's tiptoeing through this final complex of corners. Going to take P10. Rune Jansen's going to take P11. Marius Burt P12. Thomas Behar P13. Sido Vija in 14th. But most importantly for me, Carsten Wilhelm, who's not even going to finish in the top 15, as Bram Bielen's going to take him at Stowe. Bram Bielen's going to take him and get into 15th position. Yes, he is. Which means Carsten Wilhelm from pole position, nearly a lap. Well, not nearly a lap down. I don't know why that counts saying that. Oh no, he would have been quite close to a lap down.
Would have been close, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been close. Carsten Wilhelm, though, through the final corner, from pole position to 16th. Those wet tyres did not work out for the 3-wide driver. But anyway, that's your top lot. Peter Grau in 17th position. Anton Rebel in P18. Eric Strana with the first car lap down, P19. Michael Bernberg in P20. Vague in 21st. And then it's Solberg Larsen in 22nd. Matalana 23rd. Christensen. I did see him having quite a few issues at Cops quite a while ago. He finished 24th. And then the DNFs of Wolfgang Hans, Delgado, Pereira and Lang Hegeman. God, I'm sorry, your name's really long. Daniel finishes, is the last one he actually DNF'd on the first lap. We have 6 minutes until, I believe that's the next qualifying session?
I believe so, yes.
So, either way, a pretty good way, I feel, to start the season. A very deserved win for Nicky Jakovic. A fantastic drive for him, but oh wow, what a drive it was from Oscar Harbeck and Adam Taylor, giving us a bit of a laugh there. It's coming down towards the final complex of corners, and yeah, I don't know what we can expect from race 2, or even from the second qualifying session. Who might be up towards the front? I think 3 wide would really like a second stab at it after what happened to them.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think they'd be keen to have another go. But yeah, no, very interesting race. As I said, very interesting. Again, apologies from my end for mic issues. I'm trying to sort them as best I can, but yep, doing what I can. But yeah, very interesting. Either way, very interesting. And yeah, that last little bit from Oscar and yeah, that was very close. Oscar and Taylor. I was holding my breath multiple times through that last lap. It was very, very close through the last complex corners, but managed to get through in the end, which is good stuff. But good comeback from Oscar as well to come from 11th on the grid to 2nd. He'll be happy with that, I'm sure. And yeah, an interesting Shran as well was the one I noticed, just getting the strategy wrong and just being way off the back. 19th though in the end, so he gets at least something from the race, some decent points at least. But yeah, still a bit of a downer start to him. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve a lot more than that in this second race.
Absolutely, a 20 race season though, and so there's plenty of time for these guys to bounce back. Of course, 1 race down, 19 to go. Our calendar though will take us from Silverstone, which we're currently at. I did say I'd go through the calendar, getting it in very nicely. Thanks, Hint. Yeah, we're starting the season at Silverstone. We move on to Croft in 2 weeks' time. Then it's Imola, which is one I'm excited for. Who doesn't love a bit of Imola, am I right? Then we go to Hockenheim, Red Bull Ring. Then we go to Paul Ricard. And there's Donington Park. So we go back to the UK. Who loves a bit of Donington Park? I love myself a bit of Donington Park. Should be there in a few weeks' time as well. Then we go to Spa, which I'm sure will be lingering a few memories for some of these drivers that have driven in VEC recently. Then we go to Oschersleben, and the season rounds up in Estoril, which obviously Estoril ran last night for the virtual GT Championship. Haniel Sabdi taking the win there and leading the championship. But yeah, it's a long calendar for these boys, but I'm sure all of them will be enjoying it.
Yeah, indeed. No, it should be really interesting to see how they go. I mean, to me personally, it'd be interesting to see I'm gonna say Istanbul. It'd be interesting. I always do. I always have enjoyed that track personally. I know it's a bit of a on-off track. Some people are not very big fans of it. Others are pretty big fans of it. I'm one of the pretty big fans of it. I think it's a fun track that obviously doesn't exist anymore. But when it was existing, it was a good F1 track, I thought. But yeah, that should be an interesting track with these cars. I think it's a especially that the triple left-hander would be a
10-8, yeah.
very tough corner, and he's in these cars. It's tough in pretty much anything, especially like even the endurance GTS. It's tough enough, let alone in these things. It'd just be very fascinating, very easy to lose it and lose all the time through that. So yeah, it could be a very interesting track and yeah, very interesting calendar I think for this season, and really
Yeah.
complements these cars well I think, and their sort of driving style and racing style as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge mix of tracks on this calendar. Of course, we go F1 style circuits like Silverstone, Hockenheim, and all that. You know, we've got those F1 style circuits, and then we've also got like these BTCC style circuits. You know, like Croft, and you know you got the WTCC track, of course. So it's running various other things. The World Endurance Championship does a test there or something. Sorry, I don't really follow. But at Paul Ricard. Of course, we've got Donington Park as well. Another one which I'm sure quite a lot of them like. A DTM track being Oschersleben. You know, it's a very, very mixed circuit with how they're all built, lengths, everything. It's all going to be very, very different. We've got a couple of minutes until the second qualifying session here, and the second set of conditions, which who knows what it's going to be like. At the moment, it looks like it's quite dry out. It is dry. Ooh. I'm sure there's a few drivers that would actually want it to be one condition or the other, not sort of mix between the two. Oh dear. Not a lot of people like that mix between the two. Hello.
Yes, apologies. I was just trying to fix the mic issue. I'm trying to play around with things, so apologies if I drop out or anything like that. If it's working right now, then I'm going to be very happy.
We've all had mic issues before.
Yeah, no, I was just taking out something and seeing if that was possibly the issue. It might do nothing, but it's worth a shot either way. But yeah, here we go with nearly at qualifying. Sorry, 2 minutes also to qualifying, and it's looking like if I'm seeing a dry track, and that is qualifying.
It's dry.
Yeah.
It is. This could be a dry track for the qualifying session coming up, which means it'll be very, very important for some of these boys to get out there. 20 seconds we'll be moving over. But it's very important for some of these boys to get out there, even if it's for only like 3 or 4 corners, just to kind of get a feel for where the grip is so you can make the most of the first couple of laps and hopefully get onto it towards the end. You know, it's so important just to learn what the track's going to be like between the dry and the wet. Of course, now we move over into that qualifying session. Ever so important. Oh, this could be very, very interesting. Of course, this will be like a redemption call for drivers like your 2-3 wide drivers like Eric Strana. These will be this will be like they need to treat this, you know, like race one never happened. You know, instantly clean slate. Yeah, of course. It's one of those things when you have 2 races in an evening. Of course, you'll know exactly what it's like. I know what it's like. Quite a lot of people on the grid will know what it's like who've done sprint racing before. Where you have 2 races in an evening. It's so important when you've got 2 qualifying sessions as well. You've got to take the highs and run with them into the second race. You know, Oscar Harwick's finished second. People like Luke Ridgway, of course, Nicky Jakovic winning the race, Adam Taylor finishing on the podium. Those lot, they all need to take the highs, and they need to run with that into race 2. They need to take that and they need to be like, right, boom, I've got the confidence, I've got this car under me, I've had a great result already, let's go for something more. For anyone that's got the lows, people like Bert, Wilhelm, Christian Michel, Eric Strana, all that lot, they need to put the lows aside, ignore them, know what they've learned from race 1, and go with it. You know, it's almost just a completely ignore what is going on.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, just completely take out all the negativity and just, you know, go for it as a fresh start, as you say. So, yeah, no, very true, very true. Just gonna have to redo it. Fresh slate, clean slate, whatever you want to call it. That's what they'll have to go with, and I'm sure they will do that. I'm sure Strahan will, especially Strahan, as I said, Strahan and the likes of him, you know, very experienced. They'll probably just be very keen to just put it behind them, just think of the future, not the past, and yeah, just try and qualify as best they can For this race, as we said, it's looking like, if this weather stays, looking like it could be a dry race, so stark
Yeah.
contrast really to race 1, which could be very interesting, because we might have, again, a bit of a shake-up once again. We might see the 3 wides either staying where they are or be further down. You never really know. Strahan further up maybe, Oscar further up, could be a very different grid order for this race. We'll have to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, people like Strong, people that have done touring car racing will know the joy of having a multiple race format whilst anything can happen, like being taken out. I'm sure you know that actually, because I've taken you out in a few touring car races as well, buddy, haven't I?
You have, yes.
Oh, good times. I remember Laguna Seca once absolutely wrecking you at the corkscrew.
Oh, that was it. It was a glorious race.
buddy.
But the best thing about that was that I didn't even know it was coming. It was just like I was going along minding my own business, and then suddenly a BMW was in my side.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
That was, yeah, back in the old RF1 days.
Yeah. Wow, I think I was still on a controller back then. But yeah, we all know the feeling of having a bad race and then moving on into another race and having to get confidence. It's hard. It's very, very tricky. It takes a lot of experience. Anyone new to this format of racing, although I don't think there would really be anyone. Anyone new to the format of racing, though, might be kind of intimidated by that mindset. But either way, nevertheless, Niki Jakovic will be your first person to set a lap time. He's currently coming up towards Copse Corner, of course, the national pit straight, one that isn't really used outside of places like BTCC. But Niki Jakovic, he's going to be looking to take the highest of highs. I did say to watch out for him, and in those mixed conditions, he picked the right tyres, won them at the right time, and did an outstanding job. He was super, super fast in them. I can't even remember where he qualified. I think it was like 5th or something. But either way, an amazing job to bounce to P1. And not only that, but pull away from it, set the fastest lap of the race as well. He was silly fast in that race. He's setting some good sector times here, which is not a shock. He's the first car on track. And through Club Corner, this final complex to take us around to the start-finish line. The start-finish line's a bit later than I thought it would be. It caught me out because I thought it was going to be about here, not here. But here it is. It's going to be a 201.7. So there, I think the fastest lap of the race was like a 204 mid. Last race, maybe a high 203. So that's a benchmark for you. 201.7, pretty good one. Carsten Wilhelm, your pole sitter in the first race, 202.2. Oscar Hardwick, podium sitter in the last race, 202.9. If he did a 209, he'd be really slow. But either way, it's currently a half a second lead for Niki Jakovic over the rest of the field as people are starting to set in their benchmark times. Either way,
Niki right back again.
Yeah.
This mic, I swear I am going to murder this mic after this broadcast and burn it to pieces, and it will not exist anymore because it is being right painful at the moment. But anyway.
Do you even have
Either
any
way.
commentary coming up anytime soon over this?
Yeah,
Oh,
probably
dear.
I may just disappear on the commentary aspect.
Yeah,
for
just for a
6
week
months.
until it's sorted. No, it's fine. I don't even know what's happening. I'm assuming it's a dodgy cable.
That or it's weird. I think it seems to be that once I leave TeamSpeak and have as a background thing, it doesn't work. And then once I go back in TeamSpeak, it works again. So
Oh, good.
yeah, I'm not sure at all what's doing it, but I'm trying to figure it out, and I just don't have a clue. So who knows?
Totally off topic, but every time I load up Rainbow Six Siege, it pushes my microphone from whatever level it's currently at to 0, which means I'm very, very quiet. Very annoying. Mics do some wonderful things on occasion, but don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, Hinsey. We'll wait it out with you. It's fine. We've got a couple of people setting some decent sector times, mainly through the first sector. It's Marius Burt through the first sector who's been purple. We've got a few people in front of him that'll be setting times first. They'll be pretty hard to follow for now, as there's a few people that haven't set the lap times. I'm curious to see what Marius Burt does as he crosses this second sector split. Not that I can find out until live race update. He's about half a second off of Niki Jakovic, so he could be in front of his teammate Carsten Wilhelm, who's currently in second. But he is down in 25th at the moment, not having set a time is Marius Burt, one of only 5 drivers not to set a time, with Nasula, who we know is pretty quick, Janssens, Christensen and Delgado, who made a bit of a boo-boo there. Speaking of boo-boos, Marius Burt through Club Corner. Pretty boo-boo there. But to the line, he should go up towards the top 5. Boom, 5th. Wow, what a guess. I'm proud of myself. 5th place, 203.0 there for Marius Burt. No, where am I getting that information from? 11th. Okay, Alessandro Puotti. Right, that's where I'm getting that from. He was purple through the first sector. We've also got a 2/10 improvement for Niki Jakovic through the first sector as well. A lot of these boys obviously finding time. Again, this will be a bit like the wet session. It's the last guy on track will benefit the most with the rubbered in track.
Yeah, definitely. No, that is very true. As I try and figure this out. Yeah, no, and as I was just going to say, 3 wide appearing to confirm their pace. So they're not 1-2, but they're still 2nd and 6th at the moment, so doing pretty well. Those 3 wide boys, and they're sort of showing that they are, well, they do have the pace when they have the right tyre, so it was more a strategic blunder that stuffed them in the last race rather than just not enough pace, so good for them. Taylor 8th too, it's interesting, against Rahn 9th, Oscar Harvick 4th, but yeah, that gap Nicky's got half a second to 2nd spot. Really is quite amazing how much pace he's able to extract from this car.
Absolutely, and not only that, he is going faster and faster. Currently a 3/10 improvement through that middle sector as Alejandro Puotti moves up into 3rd position, 8/10 off of pole position. So there was a good lap there for the Scuderia GT Italia driver, up into 3rd place. But yeah, keep an eye on Niki Jakovic. In front of him is Adam Taylor, who's coming through the final corner, actually teammate of Niki Jakovic. They'll be having a great time, having 1st and 3rd in the previous race. Adam Taylor towards the line. He is going to not improve. I think he might have gone on that lap. I will shut up. He wasn't on that lap. Cool. Oh, no, he wasn't. Oh, no, he was. God. It's because Niki Jakovic improved. 201.630. 6/10 improvement now. It's not too much of an improvement, but it's enough. It's just under a 10th improvement there for Niki Jakovic. Adam Taylor, though, is on a lap.
Yes, indeed. As we go along, and again, apologies if I drop out at any point, trying to figure out a solution if I can. Not really working too well so far, but I'm trying. So that's always interesting. Yeah, Nicky 6/10 clear of Carson, as you say, so that's good. Oops, Cito, I think that was just improving. So he moves up to 5th jumps. Oscar Harvick now, so Cito showing his pace. He's got the headlights ablaze. He had that ablaze in the last race, so meaning business, I guess.
I think it's legal. It's especially when you've got stuff like when you've got HDR on. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but it does look pretty cool when you're at night time, or when you're when it's raining, right? You've got your lights on. It looks pretty cool. Won't lie.
Yeah. Pretty legit.
Pretty legit. Yeah, we look like legit legit racers now, because we're running with lights on. What would make it more legit is if you're being really annoying when you're behind someone and just flashing it like an idiot. Oh, that annoys me. Nothing annoys me more. It's worse that in other sims, they've put now a flash button, which when you press it, it flashes your lights.
Huh.
Like as opposed to switching on and off, like what we do, like in endurance racing, when you come up to laps on Bram Beelan, by the way, goes up in 7th position. But when we, when you want to flash someone, you just press your light on and off quite a bit, right? But in this other sim, which we're not going to advertise because we're here to advertise R Factor 2, you can be really annoying by pressing one button and it just going on the lights. That is so frustrating.
Definitely, yeah. You could almost do it just to deliberately be annoying. That'd be a real pain to have that. So, yeah. Banter with Jimmy, it's always fun. Yeah, no, it's interesting to see how this is. Interesting to see it's pretty close too, I've got to say. I mean, especially the top, I think it's from, where is it, from 3rd all the way down to 12th is 1 second covering that entire part of the field, which is quite interesting. Again, Strahn in 12th, which I find really interesting. I thought it'd be a bit further up. Michelle as well. Christian Michelle in 9th, again a bit further down. Marius Burt 8th, so not quite as quick as he was in the wet in that throw, but still in the top 10, which is good, so that's good for him. Harvick 6th, as I said, Cito in 5th, Canastrazzi in 4th, having a good run there, and Alexandro 3rd, Carsten 2nd there, 6/10 off Nicky Jakovic, just showing that insane pace he's got in that car again. As I said, it's kind of not too surprising, is seeing that he can extract it from the GT. It makes sense you can extract it from this car too. But yeah, just pretty insane, really, just how much you can get out of that car.
Vladen Sofianek moves up into 4th position. He's just over a second off of the provisional pole position at the moment. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. So a couple of people will be escaping to pit lane, getting ready for their final lap. Also, Matalana improved into what was 10th position at the time, now down to 11th position. He's leaving pit lane to go on to his final run. Oh, he's in a good little spot in the pit lane right at the end. Nice.
Quick.
Yeah, nice little exit. Spooky enough, we've got Niki Djakovic improving through the first sector. Oscar Hardwick the second. He moves 0.56. Oh, Christian Michel the second. Everyone's fighting for a front row. Everyone really likes Niki Djakovic. They just want to be on the front row with him. Christian Michel though moves up into 2nd place. He'll be on the right tyres this time.
Indeed, yep. Assuming with the shed, I'm just expecting. I'm just waiting for it to be dry, and then dry in the warm up, and then all of a sudden the race will just be
wet.
Absolutely soaking wet. Yeah.
Do you know? I would be so game for that. I'd be so game for that. I'd be so. No, actually, this is why Jimmy needs a formation lap so he can be a real troll, right? So that halfway around the formation lap with slick. Oh, that happened at Fuji. Halfway around on slick tyres, it started raining. This did actually happen at Fuji in VEC. I know a couple of VEC drivers that will know that. By the way, Niki Djakovic improved, moves into an 8/10 lead over the rest of the field. I'm sure he is trying to leave pit lane. He won't have enough time. Should probably call it quits there, Mr. Djakovic, before you get in someone's way and cause an incident, get a penalty, whatever. But he won't get another lap in. I think that's him done. But
still, interesting stuff. I'll tell you what I'm finding interesting is that Michelle, Hardwick, and Wilhelm are all very, very close. What, a 10th between those three? Very, very close indeed.
Very
no,
close.
Not far behind. So,
Oscar's called it quits.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Oscar Hardwick scored it quits. He made a mistake through Beckett's just before Chapel, and just called it quits. I'm actually surprised he didn't try another lap. Maybe he didn't realise how much time there was left, or maybe he just doesn't care. Who knows? Either way, we've got a couple of PBs being set by some of the drivers behind. Canestracci moves up into 5th place, starting his final lap of the session. Carsten will actually Christian Michel will be the next one up there to finish his lap. And here he goes around this final corner. Is he going to improve? It doesn't really. Looks like he's setting some good time, but we'll see. He doesn't actually improve his lap time. I actually think he lifted off. Oh, Carsten Wilhelm sets himself onto the front row. Obviously pole position here for the 3-wide driver at the previous race, and now 2nd position provisionally here. Both on their final lap of the session.
Indeed. It should be very interesting, and I think I'm figuring out why TeamSpeak's stuffing up. That's handy. Okay. Very interesting. I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, I'll have to look into the settings and figure that out. Anywho, got myself kind of working with it. It's very interesting, isn't it? And Carsten, it's just amazing how big that gap is. I just can't get over it. 7/10 is just ridiculous, really. I mean, let's be frank, that is such a huge gap between from a leader to the 2nd spot. It really is unbelievable just how much pace Nicky's got compared to everyone else. But at the time, it has just run out, so I think it is the last laps. Carsten on a lap. He's actually right behind Michelle on the track, which is interesting. So that's a bit of an interesting little thing there. As you said, Oscar Hardwick not doing one. Alexander also not
hold
on
up.
a lap.
No. So it's Marius Burt, who was actually purple, not just through the 1st sector, but through the 2nd sector as well. He did not improve in the final sector, though, but does go to 4th. That's whiffing like someone might have a bit more pace up their sleeve, possibly for the race. Possible mistake there in that final complex of corners. Not too sure. Wilhelm off of his lap. Christian Michel coming through the final sector. Is he going to be improving? I don't really know. It looks all right. I don't know. I think it was a PB middle sector. I don't really know. We'll have that on screen. It'll be at the bottom, so you'll know before I do, apparently. Denny Canestracci moves up into 5th place in front of Oscar Hardwick, moves him down to 6th for the Magenta Warriors driver. Through the final complex of corners comes Christian. Over that curb. Oh, looks good. Bit too much of a slide there, but still through this final corner and down towards the line. 2:02.1 is his current time. 2:02.1 remains his time.
And Canistratchi is not on a lap. He's just sitting at the end of the straight, so he's not going to improve. Breland is on a lap. Wolfgang Hans is pitting, so it's Brandon Breland and Taylor
Adam
just crossing
Taylor to
line.
10th.
He improves. Yeah.
Adam Taylor to 10th. Yeah, but Beelan then Strana, I believe.
Yeah.
Beelan to the line, currently sat in 11th position, improves his time, goes to 9th. Eric Strana through final complex corners. There is also, who is that? Is that Nasulu? It is Nasulu in front of him. Down in 19th position is,
Wow.
I'm assuming, Finnish driver. Moves up to
Well,
7th.
there he
We go. Eric Strana moves up to 12th. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Nasulu up to the 7th position. That'll be pretty exciting. There's a bit of a gap, right? Not just between P1 and P2, because P2 to P6 is just under 0.2 of a second, but then there's another half a second gap from 6th to 7th. It's like there's little groupings of people as opposed to one solid lot.
Yeah,
and then there's
really...
Nicky Jakovic, who signed up to the Jakovic only league. It's as if we've seen people who are solely fast in flat sixes that run at the front of fields miles in front of everyone else before, isn't it, Inns?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Not naming names. It would be great if one of those lot would come over. Noting that people were talking about being Risto Capit and Kevin Siggy. Would be great if we could get those two over at some point. Those two are stunningly fast in these cars.
Oh yeah. That'd be really quite an interesting battle. I would love to see that and see where they go in this field, because I think it'd definitely spice things up, especially with Nicky. I think they'd be pretty close with those guys, because it seems like Nicky's pretty in a league of his own, just like Risto and Kevin are. But that reminds me of when reminds me of the good days. No, it reminds me of when WSS Sochi, so a different league. Lulu, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I finished 4th. Oh, the pride.
I got second and it was official, so I was very happy with that. But yeah, no, that reminds me of that, because Siggy it was a reverse grid, and I was third on the grid, and Siggy was pole, got past second pretty early on, and then I just could not catch Siggy for the life of me. He was just in my lead, so I have no idea how the hell I had that post, because I could not catch him no matter what I did. So
Yeah, ages ago I was in a league with Risto Capit, Kevin Siggy and all that, and the legend himself, Tim Heinemann, the pride, he was cheating. You know when you nail a lap, right? And I know Jakovic will be one of these people, right, that annoys me like sin. Right, you nail a lap. You know, oh my god, that was like the best. I have been sim racing for 2.5 years. That was the best lap I've ever. I'm 1.5 seconds off. What? What do you mean?
What are you doing?
That's impossible. Yes, like that is what some of these drivers might be thinking when it comes to Jakovic. Truth is, he's just driving really well at the moment.
Yeah.
I say it would be great to have him against like a Capit or a. You know, I'm not saying anything about the rest of the field, because of course they've got race pace. We did see that quite a bit from Harbick and Taylor in the previous. Oh, Taylor was actually quite low. I think Taylor was. Looking at this, I think Taylor qualified 13th.
Yeah. Way down. Yeah, he just didn't improve. It's interesting. It's actually behind his teammate at the moment. So looks like they're doing some team racing. That's always fun to do. But yeah, no, it should be good. Should be a good race. I'm assuming Nicky's just going to run away with it. I mean, that just seems to be part of the course, so I think we know how that's going to go. But I think that battle for second could be quite fascinating, because Wilhelm, Michelle, Burt, Hardwick, Canistratzi, they're all very, very close in pace. So that second place battle could be quite juicy, I think, for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially if the conditions go wet. So, Jimmy, if you want to do the rain dance on the line, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Right, preferably right as the lights start going, so they go on slicks and then the lights go bang, rain. That'd be
No. There's even better than that. In the run between the start and T1.
Oh,
just rain, torrential rain.
To see that.
Like what was it? Malaysia 2012 in F1, where it was like dry, turn 1, dry, turn 2, dry, and then coming up towards turn 4, it's like, oh right, they're all on wet. Oh wow, that's raining. Oh, wow.
Monsoon.
Yeah, that's what we need. That is absolutely what we need.
I completely agree. I'm really glad I got this mic vaguely working. Hopefully, there's no feedback. By the way, apologies if there is.
It's
I'm
fine.
not
We
just-
can
okay,
deal with that for
I'm
another
glad.
round. It's fine. Just deep breaths, Hinsey. Deep
You know me.
breaths.
You know me, Lulu. I don't do deep breaths.
No.
Don't do enough of them anyway. But yeah, no, it should be a very fascinating race, I must say. And I reckon, well, so I'm going to be watching Strahan, to be honest, and Taylor, because I know Strahan's got more pace than that, to be honest. I'm a bit surprised with his qualifying pace, because I know he's got more pace than that. And I really do think he surely can get at least a top 10 out of this. I would expect him to be setting a top 10 as his minimum objective this
Absolutely.
race, being Strahan. And Adam Taylor as well will be the other one I'll be watching to see if he can improve, because that seems a bit too far down to me, really.
Yeah,
He should
yeah,
be
yeah.
a bit higher than that, I think. Also
Well,
of note, Luke Ridgway, 23rd in qualifying. So again, qualifying down the back. I think he qualified around there in race 1. So
yeah.
yeah, interesting. We'll keep an eye on them, see where they go, because it'd be interesting to see if he can repeat that pace if it's an all-dry race, because I have a hunch it maybe not, but we'll see.
I think Eric Strana's just beat his qualifying lap on his first time lap in this, this session. He did actually. I think it was like I think it was a high 202 or a 203. That would annoy him to no end. So that's cool. Again, yes, of course, we reckon he's got more pace. But see, the thing is this is the thing when you run a 15-minute qualifying session around a 2-minute lap. You do not have time to make mistakes. You don't have the time. You don't. We've done touring car races around Snetterton, the 300 layout, which is long. It's like 2 minutes 16 seconds or something like that. It's like in that kind of session, you don't have the time to make a mistake. You must make the laps you're on count. Every single time lap you do must count and must be good, because you just don't have the time to escape and go, oh, what do we do here? Let's have another go in like 2 minutes time. You don't have the time. Of course, a lot of these boys will also come from VEC when you've got 25 minutes. That's a load of time. Either way, though, we are going to be getting ready for the second race of the evening, the final race of the evening, and it'll be Beelan in 10th place, Sofianic in 9th, Puoti in 8th, Nasula in 7th, Hardwick 6th, Canastracci 5th, Bert and Michelle on your second row, Wilhelm in second position, and Jakovic on pole position, looking to have a lights to flag victory, but will anyone be able to stop him? We are racing. It's a great start from Christian Michel. It's a bad start from Wilhelm. Christian's going to be through into turn 1. Yes, that is Christian Michel through into turn 1. Oscar Harbick looking on the inside of Marius Burt, who was a bit too cautious in turn 1. Oscar Harbick up into 4th position. He's looking on the inside of Wilhelm. He's got a little bit of contact between the two drivers as Burt's going to get past as well. Burt is going to be getting past, going to look for the cutback here. But it's Nicky Jakovic leading the way from Wilhelm and Harwick still side by side. I think they've sorted it out now, coming down towards Brooklands.
Indeed, yes, a bit in the lead at the moment. That will pack with someone going wide in the background too, as they were stretching out 3 wide further back, really close indeed. But Oscar's looking very, very feisty on the 2-3 wide cars. But it's going Nicky leading at the moment. Michelle, interestingly, is keeping with him at the moment, so that's interesting thing to keep note of. But 3 wides once again seem to be the cork in the bottle again. The second race in a row is going along. He's got Burton's teammate right behind him. Oscar's right behind him. We've got Kenny Stratzi, Alexandro, Jimmy Nisula's there as well. Bladen's actually just behind the battle with Strahan. Strahan to 10th spot. Really gained spots, and he's right on the back of Bladen there in that battle for 9th. So that's one to watch as Strahan tries to get his head around this race and the start. Adam Taylor's still in 13th, by the way, so he hasn't moved off the line, which is something of note. But either way, Oscar Harbour looking very, very feisty on the back of Marius Burt. And Burt being a bit loose there through the line. They really are being interesting, those track limits. But Burt, and again, Burt being very loose through the rhythm section. That's going to give Oscar Harbour the chance to make a move. No more wet lines here, so you can use all the track you want and not lose time off racing line, not as much anyway, off racing line, which is good for them. Oscar wouldn't be outside, he won't do it. No, he'll try for the cutback, but Burt looks to have that covered, so that battle looking like being the main one in these early stages.
Yeah, Bernberg, your retirement, he's the only retirement so far. We also had a spinner of Peter Grau further back in the order, but currently towards the finish line, and it's going to be Niki Jakovic to lead, and he's not running away at the moment from Christian Michel, who's actually closed in a lot through that final sector. Carsten Wilhelm in third, Marius Burt in fourth, the 3 wide as well, the 2 3-wide drivers. As you say, the cork in the bottle here for this lot. Oscar Hardwick not quite as close to Burt. He's dropped off a little bit from the back. Canestracci, though, closing right up. Alejandro Puoti, then Nisula. Eric Strana in 9th position. He's right on the back of Jimmy Nisula, and he might be able to get a move done. He's got fairly good momentum there out of turn 3. This could be a looking for a move down into Brooklands Corner, which is a primary overtaking opportunity, to be honest, around the circuit.
Yeah, no, it's looking like there's Strawn, yeah. Having a look down the inside, not close enough. Alexandro's just here, there's 2. He's quite close to this battle, so this is a very interesting battle. Back end of the 10, said Strawn, showing that pace I figured he would have. He's Eric Strawn usually has good pace in these things.
Oh,
like
sorry,
finally
Taylor and
Beeler.
Taylor and Beeler 13th and 14th position, going side by side. Taylor, who was on your podium, and not only that, but fighting for second place, fighting for runner-up, trying to get a 1-2 for Team Vires in the first race, under heavy attack here from Bram Beelan and his teammate Tom Schenkel's behind for 14th and 15th, those two. But yeah, Adam Taylor under a lot of pressure here, and he's dropped off a mile off the back of Wolfgang Hans from 12th position. So this is not a good race from Adam Taylor. We know he's fast in this. He finished 4th yesterday in a Viper around Estoril, and of course finished 3rd in the previous race. So he's got a fairly good string of results, and struggling here in this race.
Battle for 4th, yeah, I'm sorry to say, kind of a little bit. Oscar Harbour coming up again around Stowe. Again, doesn't do it. Again, Burt covering very nicely as they go through Stowe. Heading through the final section of the track. I tell you what, Oscar is looking really feisty on the back of him. And keep in mind, Canestracci is behind this too. And he's going to possibly pick up the pieces if this gets a bit more aggressive as they go towards the further into the race. I apologize. And keeping in mind as well, Mickey is leading by 1.1, so that has just started to eke out a little bit. Keeping in mind as well that Carsten Wilhelm is actually catching Christian Michel, so that suddenly could be a bit of a battle for second again. So Nicky's just starting to open up ever so slightly as we get into this race, so keep an eye on that. But I think there's a few battles actually, there's quite a few of them. There's guys at the back end of the 10 who've still got that battle, Kevin Taylor, though he has gapped Baron Beeler just a little bit, which has given him a bit of breathing space. And still in ninth, still hasn't got past him in the Sula, as that battle for 4th still goes on between Harbour and Burt.
15th and 16th place, Tom Schenkels and Matalana. Matalana actually gave a little bit of a love tap, trying to get himself in towards the 15. He's going to be looking on the inside of Brooklands, breaking in a little bit early. I think it's just that kind of move has no intention. It's just sort of like a look and trying to scare him off the road. But nothing doing at present. I feel with Oscar Hardwick is maybe not fast enough to catch up the back of Wilhelm, but he certainly at this moment looks faster than Marius Burt. Adam Taylor was off. Adam Taylor was off down there. He looked like he was trying to go down the old pit lane. I just have a look at what happened there. Just too wide out of Luffield. Slides across and does hit the wall pretty. He's lost his rear wing, yeah. That is. So that's. I think also. No. Oh, he might do. I think he might have a rear left puncture.
Got a spin further upfield. Who's that? It's one of the. Is it Vladin? No, it's not Spreeland. Who is it? It's Schenkels through the rhythm section.
You also had Rune Janssens as well round as well.
Yeah, he just lost it. Yeah, just went in too deep, lost the rear on his own. So a couple of that was one of his teammates nearly went straight into him there, so it was a bit awkward. But yeah, interesting to see a few just little mistakes creeping in here. And this is in the drive too, which is interesting. So I guess everyone pushing a bit hard, maybe just pushing a bit too hard in these conditions. They try and find their feet in these actual dry conditions compared to the wet conditions of race 1, which is a big difference in these cars, I can tell you that much. But yeah, very interesting indeed. But keeping in mind, Nicky, by the way, update on the leader, 1.5 seconds now. He is clear of second spot. And Michel's coming under heavy fire from Carsten Wilhelm now. So those 3 wides are looking pretty good now in these dry conditions. So now they've got the strategy right. They're looking a little bit stronger. But I say that as Oscar Hardwick leads, he might well get the move done on Marius Burt very, very soon.
He's looking racy as Oscar Hardwick, the Englishman on home soil. Looking like he's trying to get past Marius Burt, the Powerpuff Girls car. Looking like he's going to try and get past 3 wide. Is it going to happen here in Brooklands? He's definitely going for it this time. He's overcooked it. He has overcooked that. Bit of contact there. I think Bert there was trying to go for the cutback as opposed to trying to stick to the outside, bit of contact there between the two. Oh, who's that? I just heard a big smash. I don't know. No, just game glitch. I think Sido Vija dropped and Sofianik changed positions a little bit. Who knows? As Jimmy Nisula's very much on the back of Alejandro Puoti, who was very quick in the qualifying session previous to this, but looking like he might be struggling a little bit more on race pace, as Nisula's right on the back of him. Ooh.
Harvick's through on Bert, by the way.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, that's right. You said that. That's what we saw. That's right.
Yeah.
Mine being terrible. But yeah, he's through, of course, into fourth. And Bert is sticking with him for the moment. So that's interesting of note. Michelle's still holding up with this mount. Michelle under big pressure from Wilhelm as they go down the hanger straight, side by side, as they head towards Stowe. And surely he's going to try on the outside, isn't he? He's going to try the switch back. He's going to try the switch back. Oh, he doesn't quite get it right, though. Just turned a little bit too early. And Michelle's able to defend that one, so he holds for the moment. But I'll tell you what, Carsten's looking quite strong.
Racy,
I wonder if he gets past Christian, could he possibly keep with, challenge Nicky? Because Nicky's not galloping away. I've got to say, he's leading, and the gap is slowly increasing. But he's not galloping away like I thought he would. And as we're nearly 10 minutes into this race.
No. Yeah. See, the thing is he's 2.1 seconds back now. To get a move done, you're probably going to be looking at costing maybe an extra second. Blah blah blah. As long as he gets the move done, he needs to time it and do it in one go, as Oscar Harbeck's looking to defend here from Marius Bert, who's going to go around the outside of 3. He's going to try for the inside of 4. It's not going to work. Oscar covers him off quite nicely, but that's going to cost Oscar down the Wellington straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But yeah, for Wilhelm, for Carsten, when he gets this move ready, he needs to make the move done in one go. It cannot be a kind of here we go, yeah, Brooklyn. See, like this. If he doesn't get this move done, there's going to be problems. He doesn't get the move done. He's going to try for a cutback
wasting
here.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. That is all he's doing at the moment. He's just wasting time, and that's not what he needs. If he's going to get this move done, it needs to be one attempt and done. There can be no messing around. There can be no pussyfooting. He needs to get it done quickly, because this is all costing him time. And if he does have the pace, he needs to get by pretty sharpish. But as I say, it's got to be a well-calculated move, which it doesn't seem so at the moment. So we'll leave it there. Oscar Harbeck under heavy fire from Marius Bert. These two looking like they're going to have a race-long duel. Marius Bert doesn't get past, but he's looking very rosy. Spookily enough, a couple of laps ago we were saying the same thing about Oscar Harbeck on the back of Marius, but this time it's roles reversed. And yeah, they are both looking very strong.
Indeed, yeah, they are. And I'll tell you what, Canis Strachey's actually catching up at the back of this too, so I think it could be a three-way fight pretty soon, as he's looking quite pacey. Alexander is still there. He's hanging off the back of them, so I wouldn't count him out necessarily in that fight in the top 5. His pace is at least consistent, if anything else. Again, Jimmy is still there, still Strand hasn't found a way past him. He's been on the back of him for a good couple of laps now, and he still can't find a way past, but at least he's in the top 10, which is good for him. Wolfgang Hands as well in 10th. I think he retired from race 1, so it's good to see him in the top 10. I think he'd be very happy with that. Adam Taylor in 22nd as he tries to come back through the field / make to the end really without a rear wing, so that'll be interesting to see how he goes throughout this race. But it is still Nicky leading at the moment by 2.1 now, so it's over 2 seconds now as this fight for second continues. Wrong person. Oscar Harbeck still holding on to 4th, but again, Marius Bert, as you say, he's coming back, so this fight could continue on. I thought Oscar would get past and clear him, but I tell you what, Marius Bert is doing very well here to put up a fight to Oscar Harbeck, because I thought he'd just drop back, but he's really, really not giving up at all as he's looking to Brooklands.
Absolutely not. A bit of contact between the two.
Wow.
Whatever. Yep. Not gonna judge it. Oh, more contact, more knocking there between Bert and Harbeck. This, not gonna lie, I reckon this is gonna get worse and worse between these two as the race goes on.
Yeah.
We shall see. Oscar got to keep up good impressions, considering he's I think he's joint league admin here with Mr. Allison, who's alongside me, who's doing cameras. But yeah, he's got to keep up impressions. Nice track limit. See, this is the thing. It's like I know we don't have track limits really at the moment, but it's kind of like don't take the mick. I feel that from Bert through Cops was taking the mick a bit. He didn't even have wheels on the curb there, so we'll see how that. I saw him through Magnus Beckers and Chapel just completely ignore quite a lot of it in the first section. So these boys do have to be careful as much as it's kind of like a rule. There's no like what they are. It's just a don't take the nick at the moment. Christian Michel and Wilhelm side by side into club corner. This could be it for Wilhelm. He's going to be on the inside for the right-hander. Yes, he is.
Wow,
Casting Wilhelm now through into second place. The pole position driver from the previous race, looking like he's having a much stronger race too. And now he's going to try and hunt down Niki Jakovic. 3 seconds between them. Is that gap too much? And I'm going to say it. I think so.
Yeah, I'm beginning to agree. I've got to say, looking like it could be better. I have a feeling, and I just have a hunch that Nicky's just been controlling the race.
Yeah.
I'm getting this vibe that's what he's doing, because I'm sure he's got more pace than this, because obviously second and third have kind of been in a bit of a battle throughout the last few laps. So I feel like Nicky is just sort of controlling the race, is just keeping a few seconds, not pushing too hard. And now that Carsten's clear, he'll probably just keep an eye on that gap. If he sees it close, he'll up his pace a little bit and do what you'd expect from someone who's got his kind of pace in these cars. So we'll see, though. I mean, we could be wrong again.
The thing is, right, with Niki Jakovic, is that his lap time, right? You say that like his pace, maybe he's controlling it, and I thought that too. But I've just looked at his lap time. When you consider like the extra ballast of fuel and stuff like that, his qualifying time was a 2:01.2. His current time is a 2:01.7. That's his fastest lap time. Carsten's was a 2:01.9, 2:02.1, blah, 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 and so on and so on. But the fact is that, like, his fastest lap right now is pretty quick. And Carsten, we're having a bit cloudy at the moment. I think it's just clouds. I don't think we're expecting any rain or anything, but it's getting a bit cloudy. Hashtag pray for rain.
I feel it was all. But by the way, I just noticed Strahan passed Nasula, so he's finally up and out. Yeah, so that's finally done. So next up for him is Alexandre Puerti, sorry. And that could be interesting, because as I said, if Oscar and Marius keep having this fight, and it keeps getting uglier and uglier as the race goes on, and this could draw in the guys at the back end of the 10s. Well, Marius getting on the grass there a little bit squiggly in the braking zone, but he holds it together. But yeah, if they keep fighting and the fight kind of spices up again, then the guys at the back end of the 10 down to Nasula could get dragged into this, and it could be, a 5-way, 6-way fight for fourth if that keeps up. So we'll keep an eye on that. But either way, Wolfgang Hans, by the way, is in a bit of a battle with Cito Muja there in 11th, so that's 10th, 11th, even 12th. Vladin's just on the back of it as well. Even Breland's not too far behind that either. So a bit of a fight at the back end of the 10 as well as we go along now. Just about halfway, I think a minute off halfway through this race. And yeah, Niki Jakovic still leading 3.2 seconds now, so it's pretty much stable. It hasn't really moved too much in the last couple of laps. It's been relatively stable. Carsten's still in the second. Although, credit to Christian Michel, he's holding off the back of Carsten and not really dropping off like you'd possibly expect. So that's good stuff from Michel. And Oscar still holding on to fourth, but again, with that battle as it is, I don't think... I have a suspicion that won't be the same throughout the rest of this race.
Sofianik and Wolfgang Hans were going side by side there through Brooklyn a little bit. Yeah, it was Wolfgang Hans looking like he's trying to move up and get himself towards that top 10 position for MTech. I've noticed they're sporting AD logos. I've got to support these guys now. I'm joking.
It's
no
an
bias.
obligation now, yeah.
No bias. Yeah, it's...
Mesolana has had a massive crash. Massive crash.
Was it a cops?
Massive. Yeah, a cops, yeah. He slipped his roller. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
he's gone too wide. Hit the anti-cuts.
Hit the anti-cuts, yeah. The way these anti-cuts work, because there's 5 of them, if you clip one of them wrong and the way you land... I remember Revolution Racing doing that in the 8-hour race. Yeah, if you clip them wrong, you basically land bonnet first, or your bumper sort of dips in and gets kind of under the anti-cut, and then boom, you've got problems. But yeah, that's a shame for him. Out of the race.
Sorry, just noticing. Kane Stratzy's past Burt, so now Oscar's actually got a little bit of gap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that happened, but I just noticed that then. Yeah, so Oscar's actually got a good second now back to Kane Stratzy, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So it was Oscar and Burt through Stowe. Now,
Right, Bert's
I-
gone wide, yeah.
I'd
Ooh.
say that's Oscar at fault there.
Looking like, yeah. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oscar kind of ran in. Yep, whatever. Again, that's for the DC to decide. I placed that on Oscar a little bit for now, but either way, Oscar Hardwick 4th position, Canastracci 5th, but down to 6th place, not out of it. It wasn't too bad. Luckily, the anti-cuts there didn't do what they did to Masalana a little bit earlier on in the race.
Yep.
And all this is doing, what we were saying, I said it was going to get feistier and feistier, and all this is doing is helping drivers like Nisula, Strana, Vija's a bit too far back, but it's helping those two at least to catch up to the back of this battle for 4th place, of which they are doing. And, you know, we've got over 10 minutes left of this race. Who knows what this top 5 order could actually be towards the end. Carsten Wilhelm also, by the way, was 0.3 faster on the previous lap, but is dropping back at least through the first sector from Wilhelm at the, from Jakovic's extending his gap. Yeah, there he goes. Goes through S2.
Christian Michel is off.
A big
down
crash.
straight. Yeah, he just went too wide. It's very weird. Is he gonna? Don't rejoin dangerously or awkward. And Strana's trying to pass Alexander. He's gonna do it too. Wow. Trying to get past Poitiers
and he
too.
cuts
What a
across
move.
him. Oh, and Nisula.
Oh, no.
He's gone.
Jeez.
Everything happening. Literally everything
my
happening
God.
at one moment.
And Michel's still going too. He's not going to pit.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
so-
He's got some front bumper damage, but he'll live with that until the end of the race. It's too much damage. Well, it will take too long to repair that in a sprint race. Because
Yeah.
classic sprint racing mentality is, oh, have we got damage? It'll be fine. It'll buff out.
As long as it keeps driving at it. might.
Exactly. Does it still have 4 wheels? Oh, a bit of a lag
Yeah, all
moment there
good.
for Christian as well. I noticed that in practice a little bit with Christian, that he had a lag moment. Just sort of spiked across the track a bit. But yeah, he just
so-
ran wide.
Ran wide, yeah.
Yeah, ran wide at Beckett's on the as it
And
goes right. And then on the exit through Chapel, ran wide there. Kept on the power though, and it bit him. But what that does do is that promotes Oscar Hardwick into his 2nd podium position at the moment of the evening. But 7 tenths behind is Canastracci, and 7 tenths behind that is Bert. And then 7 tenths, was that 7 tenths? I can't maths. Yeah, 7 tenths. Behind that, roughly, is Strana. So yeah, we were
all
saying
very
that
close,
Strana was
isn't
having a solid race. There he goes.
Yeah.
He's moving up
6th,
towards
yeah.
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so just staying, as I said, just staying clean, doing what he does best, just being consistent, staying out of trouble, and there he is up in 6th spot. So it's good to see Strawn more up to where in the positions he should be at. It's just good to see. Good to see him up there fighting amongst the top guys, which is what you expect from Strawn. It's good stuff. But yeah, it's all very interesting. They're all very close, but they've sort of gapped out a little bit now. So they're all sort of in their own little space at the moment. As Strawn just being a little bit wide there through the rhythm section there. It's going to be a bit wrong, but either way, he doesn't gain or lose anything there. It's pretty much stay static. But yeah, it's all a bit spaced out. Well, even that battle for 9th between Cito and Vladden's calmed down a bit now as Vladden has made the move. Sorry, Cito's made the move. Stick as he moves into 9th now. But yeah, I don't think there's any actual. Oh well, there's a bit of a battle back in 17th, 18th, 19th there. A bit of a fight back at the back end of the field. But aside from that, it's all pretty calm at the moment at the front. But as you say, I mean,
you say that.
yeah,
But Canastracci through the club, the chicane at Club Corner has closed
Quartered
up
it, yeah.
mahusively to the back of Oscar Hardwick, and now there's only 2 and a bit tenths or 3 tenths. I can maths, don't worry. Yeah, really closed up to the back of Oscar Hardwick there. And he's going to be looking a little bit, trying to spook Oscar into a move. But don't worry, Oscar knows what he's doing. The Powerpuff Girls are strong with this one. But Oscar knows what he's doing. Oscar will know how to defend and know how to place the car, and evidently know how to push him off. I'm sorry, I had to get a controversial comment in once. I'm sorry. It wouldn't be a good broadcast if there wasn't one. But yeah, Oscar is going to have to defend for this position for Canastracci, because Canastracci is going to be looking definitely for a podium. Who doesn't want to start the season where at some point in the first round, oh, Christian Michel, I see Avija going side by side through left field. Christian Michel's going to get it done.
close stuff. Apologies,
Cedar-
just trying to check.
Yes,
something.
fine. Cedar
Just trying to
Avija
make sure.
is going to be trying to get back into 8th position. He's looking. He's backs out a little bit. There's going to be a lot of understeer for Christian here. 2 cops. So he's going to go underneath. Not quite. Maybe Christian's getting used to this understeer now. We should be used to it from the rain, although that's more just general sliding, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Cedo very close to the back of Christian Michel, trying to move up and towards that 8th position. This is also going to be holding up Cedo a little bit if they're going to start battling. As you can see, if you look behind them, Sofianik is right on the back of them as well. So this battle for 8th place is right on. Brambila not that far behind either. And we know Nasula is also very quick. As much as he's very far behind, if these lot start battling, Nasula is going to be right on the back of them soon.
Indeed, yeah, look, that Cedo looking around the outside as they head towards the back end of the circuit. Is he going to do it? He's trying, but you'd think he would, because he should have the grip and the less understeer to Michel, but he doesn't do it, so Michel holds. And keeping in mind as well that without a front bumper, it does mean, wow, Michel, a big understeer there through the final corner, but it does mean less steering, but it also means faster straight line speed. Because you don't have as much downforce holding it down.
Here's his primary overtaking opportunity if he gets this bit right with all the understeer. Oh, there it is. There is that understeer. But look at Sofianik.
Oh, he's going to get through.
Oh, it's too much, no. too much. Oh, he's going to lose his place to Bielan as well. Oh, but look, Bielan's going to get past Christian as well. Oh.
Jeez, that's close.
Yeah, really nice attempt there from Sofianik, just a bit too much. If he started braking a little bit earlier, we cleared both of them. That would have been a fantastic move. Still not quite enough, and that means he's down in 11th position now. But Christian Michel looking like he's going to have 2 bad races. 2 bad races from 2, which is not actually what we expected from Christian.
At least now he's still possibly could have enough pace to not drop down as much as in the first race. Obviously, when the conditions changed at the end, he basically was dropping down the field like a really, really heavy stone. But either way, the old boy begun to see there through the almost contact with Graham again. Very, very close between these two. Breland's going to have a look. I don't know if he'll do it down into there. He doesn't. He just tucks back in. But yeah, interesting stuff here. And again, Bladen's there. And as you say, Nusula's not too far behind. Even Wolfgang Hans even is not too far behind. So could be interesting to see how far down Michel goes. Because there is a few guys further back. I mean, behind Wolfgang is a pretty sizable gap. So I think 13 could be the worst to get to. But we'll see how we go here as he goes on again. To see that straight line speed, he's able to just keep ahead of Graham purely because of that straight line speed without a front bumper. But
but
Bram, look at that understeer.
See, this is the thing, is if you're Bram Bielan, you'd be paying attention to what's been happening with Christian. You'll know at this point that he's not got a front bumper, and will understand that car is understeering. And all that means is you weigh yourself up and you line yourself up for this opportunity here.
Oh!
I didn't think he was expecting him to slow down that much. Sofianik's going to get past as well at this moment into T1. Bit of braking. Sofianik on the inside. Bit of contact. Good move from Sofianik, to be fair. It's not quite over yet. Had that not happened, Bielan would be definitely looking for Christian Michel right now. But Bielan is going to hold on around the outside of Sofianik, and now on the inside, getting the run onto the Wellington straight. Good little defensive drive there from Bielan. And all Bielan needs to do now is he needs to line himself up for a move outside of, on the outside of Copse, on the exit of Copse. That'd be a perfect opportunity to get past Christian, because the understeer there is going to be extreme. It's a mid to high speed corner, and so that's the kind of corner which you're going to be, expecting the biggest problems for Christian. So what he needs to do is he just needs to back himself up a little bit before it and get the best punch through it. So if he does that.
Oh, I was just watching. The battle for third is
it's closing up.
Close again. Yeah, look at this. Canestrati is right on the back of Oscar Albeck, and again Bert's there once again. Even Strahn's not far.
Sorry, here comes Bielan.
Oh,
I see. He's not. He didn't line it up well enough. Good Bielan. I say he needs to
drop in.
Yeah. But yeah, as you were saying, Hardwick, Canestrati, and Bert all very close. Strana looking like he's closing up to the back of Bert at this point. And with what I'd assume at the end of this lap will be 2 laps to go. Will it be? Yeah, it should be 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go from this point.
I'd say so. Yeah. So very, very, very interesting race. A lot of interesting fights that could possibly. I suspect the forum will have a few more discussions. I would expect after this race with a few drivers, possibly. We'll see. But just a hunch I've got with a few of the interesting more battles we've had in this second race. But it was Bielan again having to look at the back end of the circuit. Can't get done once again. Is he prepared this time? Is this time for Michel slowing down? He's got a good run out of the final corners. Michel, of course, had to slow right down to make the corner with that understeer, but again, he's just not close enough. He's going to understeer wide here. Here we go.
Oh, Bielan's got to be careful on the outside of this corner. He's got to be really
careful.
careful.
Vladden again. Oh.
Sofianic's looking around the outside.
And he's going to get it too, surely. He's going to be inside for this corner.
Yeah, inside. As long as he keeps it there. Yeah, inside for there. There we go.
got
Christian Michel down to 11th. That was a pretty good move there from Bielan. Respect there for Christian Michel. He understood that his car had a lot of understeer and was very careful 322. Can't even say it the second time around. Cool. Through turn 2. Because had Christian not been careful through there, he would have understeered wide and smashed off Bielan. So good driving there from the pair of them. I will say, I think the gap. Oh, Eric Strana's up to 5th. Don't know when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
This is turning into a good race for the Magenta Warriors, boys. Which would be happy for me because I skinned that car.
Extra happy days.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Again, Oscar, as we said, is very close with Canestrazzi. He could see Canestrazzi having a good race too, confirming that pace he showed in qualifying. Again, as said, Strahan managed to get past Burt, although I don't know if that's technically completely done, because Burt is looking...
No, but it's right there.
Yeah, and also interesting to note, Carsten Wilhelm seems to be dropping back a bit on Nicky Djakovic. That gap has been pretty stable at around 4 seconds, but it's up to 5.1 now in the last lap or two, and I reckon Oscar Harbinger are coming up on him pretty fast, so I'm not sure if his tyres are maybe falling off a little bit or if he's just having a moment. Either way, still good drive from him in that second spot. We haven't really seen much from him and Nicky, but good drive from those two for this race.
Yeah, he'll secure it. The thing is we are on the final lap of the race, so there's only a limited amount of attempts here for Danny Canestratch to get past Oscar Hardwick and Marius Burt to get past Eric Strana. Both Magenta Warriors cars under attack here very heavily as they round themselves round this complex of corners. It's going to be tough for these boys to hang on because these two are very, very fast at the moment. Of course, there's a couple of battles behind. Bielan and Sofianik are pretty close, but it looks like these four drivers, Canestratchi, right in the back coming on towards Brooklyn. He's going to try and break around the outside. He's not going to get that done. He's going to have to run out onto the grey bit. It's just not enough. But Oscar Harbour is going to need to place this car in all of the right places. He's making sure that he's getting a great run out of Luffield and down the National Straight and then into Copse Corner. It's going to be very tricky to hang on. He's got to make sure he's got to absolutely nail Copse Corner and Maggots, Beckers and Chapel. If he doesn't, there's going to be problems. Eric Strana will have the same fate if he doesn't, which is losing a position in the final complex of this track. Nicky Djakovic, though. Oh, Nicky Djakovic made a mistake there.
Whoa,
very shocking to see that. But Nicky Djakovic is going to be coming down towards that final complex of corners. Oh, can Eric Strana, if he gets a good run here, can he get past Canestratchi?
Ooh, it's looking like he might.
Oscar Hardwick's done. Oscar Hardwick's got 3rd position. That's done. That is all sorted. Eric Strana, though, looking for 4th place. Is he going to be able to... yes. No, there's going to be nothing done there, I think. Either way, Nicky Djakovic, 2 out of 2. Through the final complex corners. Nice sliding. Wow, look at you showing off. How very Shane Van Gisbergen he. Look at that. Nicky Djakovic confirms 2 out of 2 here at Silverstone and takes a well-deserved championship lead out of Silverstone into the second round in a couple of weeks' time. Carsten Wilhelm gets that podium he deserves. Oscar Hardwick takes 3rd position. Danny Canestratchi takes 4th. Eric Strana 5th. Great recovery drive from him. Marius Burt in 6th. Won't be happy with that. Alessandro Puotti in 7th. Cito Vija in 8th position. Bram Bielan from Sofianik 9th and 10th. Nisula in 11th. Christian Michel, not a good drive. Not a good day for Christian. 12th position, of course, after that win in the Virtual Endurance Championship a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago. Numbers. Wolfgang Hans, 13th position. Thomas Behar in 14th. Tom Schenkels in 15th. Bit of a mistake there. What could have been from him? After a great drive in race 1, he still improved positions, but Luke Ridgway comes around the corner into 16th position. Peter Grau in 17th. Jesper Christensen will come round the final complex of corners and confirm himself in 18th position, as Pedro Delgado will confirm himself in 19th, as the entire back end of the field is sliding around, much like the rear end of most of these Porsches. Solberg Larsen will come around the final corner to confirm himself as top 20. Vage will be in 21st. Anton Rebel will be in 22nd. A bad race for Adam Taylor. Contact with a wall coming out of Luffield left him in a very problematic position and down in 23rd position. Then your retirements will be Rune Janssen, Matalana, Harper and Bernberg. And that there will pretty much round up your evening's racing.
Yeah, no, very, very fascinating evening of racing. Again, apologies for the mic issues from my end, but managed to figure out a solution for that second race. At least that was all good. But yeah, no, very, very interesting. Some very good battles, I thought. Some very intense battles. That definitely had those. So, yeah, some intense battles. Had some very good passes. You had all the conditions in the first race, wet, dry in the second race. So pretty much had everything, really, I think, in that race. And as we said, there's some varying fortunes for drivers, both between race 1 and race 2, and just generally in both races. But yeah, good to see a few of the guys in the second race that you would expect up the top sorting themselves out. But yeah, Niki Jakovic really just showing, I think, why he's probably going to be the one to watch throughout the rest of the season, really, because it's just both races is an absolutely dominating performance from him. Just really impressive to see him extract so much pace and consistency from these cars, especially in that first race with such tricky conditions. Just absolutely mastered it to a T. It was really impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have an interview, and I'm sure we'll probably have a couple of others. If you want one, come for one, I guess. I don't know how much Jimmy's okay with this, because he might be like getting really angry behind his keyboard. But either way, we've got Oscar Harwick, who was in the midst of a fairly controversial race because he's dirty.
Which one?
You.
No, which race?
Race 2.
Race 2. Right. Okay.
I saw a feisty move with Marius, but what's your take on that? We're talking about the one where there was a bit of contact and Bert ran
Fourth
wide.
to last corner.
Yeah. Stone.
I think the contact was after the apex, from what I felt. Although I do need to watch it again, so I wouldn't take my word as gospel on that. Yeah, I understood. I think it was really a racing incident, because by the time he hit that part of the corner, his car was barely alongside anymore. And he had thrown a somewhat sketchy defensive move on me a bit earlier on when I got past. I mean, yeah, I need to watch it again to say anything definitive, but I think it was well after the apex that I made the contact, and that his car was only just there, so probably racing incident kind of deal. Although I can understand why I'd be flashing lights and upset by it. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Either way, away from the controversial comments, it's been 2 good races from you. Double podium. Second, obviously pretty close there between you and Taylor, and of course a third position for you in race 2. Not only that, a good result for the team in race 2. What do you kind of expect as the season goes on between you and obviously Mr. Strana?
I think if we did some laps beforehand, we're going to be able to consistently, like, through a bit of bad luck for Taylor in race 2, I think we lead the standings now, but the team standings. But that's going to be difficult to keep up on the level of Vires consistently through the season, because Jakovic was very evidently quicker in both races, and in the mixed conditions, I was basically just having to keep it on the dry line. But other than that, Taylor was quicker than me then. So it's difficult to call. We would like to try for the championship, I think, me and Eric, but it's going to depend. There's plenty of rounds to go, a long way to go in the championship yet.
And that's a good segue into my question. Fantastic. So looking towards the rest of the season, obviously, as me and Lewis talked about throughout the broadcast, a lot of very fantastic tracks for this season, really varying in their style and their racing nature. So for you, what are the tracks you're both looking forward to and dreading for this season, if any?
Not keen on Le Castellet, Paul Ricard, which I believe is next round.
No.
No.
Round 6.
Next
6. Round's Croft.
Croft will be good fun. It'll be a bit narrow with that many cars on it, and these cars are very fast for Croft, like the Croft, Alton, those kind of circuits. Granted, the British Porsche Carrera Cup goes there in the real world, but it's going to be sketchy with a bunch of sim racers doing it, I reckon. So it'll be fun, but only if you're at the front.
Oh, be at the front then.
Well, I mean, again, I put a lot of today down to good luck and having previously run the car well in mixed conditions, and I started, I think, 14th for race one, and running the slicks was horrible for 3 or 4 laps. You couldn't overtake. You had to sit behind people into corners. And it was as the wets went off, you could start making moves, and even then, still sketchy. I was lucky that 3 wide held Taylor up as much as they did, because he was much further up the road than me, and I was expecting him to have romped off in second place behind Jakovic pretty early, but he never converted it. I don't think had an evening of results that could have been, and then the attempted pass on me at the end of race one was a bit ridiculous, but never mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we've got anyone else to go and interview. So, thank you, Oscar, for joining us.
No problem.
And of course, that there should probably round us up for the first round of the Porsche Super Cup season. So, Hinz, any thoughts as the season will progress? What can we expect from some of these boys, and will Nicky Jakovic run away with this title?
Well, I mean, obviously it's only been the first round, so it's always awkward to try and call things too early. But I mean, going on that, I almost feel like I'm just going to curse him somehow. But either way, I don't know. It's hard not to see him being the dominating force this season. I mean, he showed in the wet how quick he was. He showed in the dry how quick he was. He showed in changing conditions how quick he was. So he was tested in pretty much every aspect, and he came out on top every time. So I feel like he's going to be the one that everyone will be trying to beat. But again, Carsten Wilhelm there had some good pace in that second race, was able to at least match him for a good portion of that race. So he could be one to watch to maybe challenge throughout the season. Obviously, Oscar, one to watch as well. Eric Strahan as well. Marius Burt, probably expecting better things for him as the season goes on, possibly as he gets used to the car. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other guys who could possibly challenge, at least for second and third. So I think the real battle will be second and third in the championship. That will be a really fascinating fight. There's a lot of guys who are really close in pace who could fight for that. But yeah, I have this feeling that Nicky's got a very successful season ahead. But time will tell. It's sim racing and motor racing. You never know what can happen. So anything can happen, and it may well be next round could be a bit of a dud round for him if things don't go his way. But either way, I think it'll be a very interesting season ahead with those kind of battles from the first round. So looking forward to it, definitely.
Absolutely. We've got 18 races left on the calendar, 2 down, 9 rounds to go, and it will be a long season. Join us in 2 weeks' time, where we'll be at the Croft Circuit, as has been said, the 25th of April. Do not forget to tune in to that one. And yeah, until next time, it's been me, Lewis McGlade, alongside Thomas Hinz, Jimmy Allison on cameras, and until next time, goodbye.